Exciting start. Yeah, it looks like Drobot was able to get ahead there. We had a little bobble up from Propsicle there. And, yeah, Drobot was able to pull ahead and take the win. But, man, what an exciting start to this show tonight, for sure.
Looks like, did Propsicle get stuck in the back of the dive gate there at the end, or was that inside of the actual dive gate?
I have seen that a couple of times on lap 2 here throughout the week. You know, as we know this is a long track. It's working on the batteries. And as you're coming into that last final dive gate, you really have to approach it differently with lower battery power. And I've seen some guys overshoot it, and that looks like that might have been what scooped up Propsicle right there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to actually hold that power when you're coming in to just kind of hold it, and then you're giving it everything you can, and that battery's like, nope, I'm not going to stop. We're going, and you just fall right in there and then slam to the back of it. I've done it once or twice myself on this course, so.
Well, our remote officials say that the results are good. You can tear up your tickets. Your winners, Drobot and Engineer, moving on up into the winner's bracket, match number 6. And then we go into the consolation bracket with the Milkman and Propsicle. They're back in match number 5. No channel changes, and that's our first heat of the night.
Looks like we got Tim Barnhart joining us in the chat there. Hey, Tim.
In the chat.
Yeah, good to be seeing you, bub.
Oh, and there's Double A, always there.
Yeah, Bunny.
Love to have him as well. Always there on the streams.
Don't think he's missed one.
He was the first moderator ever awarded that title on the MultiGP YouTube channel because he's there watching every stream, so why not? Double A. And one of our key volunteers and voluntold of the International Open, the world's largest drone race as well. And date was announced. I missed it, but date was announced for 2022. We're going back to Muncie, Indiana. We'll find out some more information about that as we go on. Of course, tonight's performance, tonight's championship, brought to you in part by our friends at Team Black Sheep, Real Serious Toys. And you know them, they're renowned for their Crossfire, their Tiny Whoop Nano, also the Mambo 2, and one of the longtime supporters of MultiGP pretty much since the very beginning. And TBS gear, keeping the pilots in the skies and available at your favorite FPV retailer and at team-blacksheep.com. Thank you to Trappy and Mike Chin and Wayne Ho, the coolest toe I know. The entire team at TBS, our thanks to them. Let's get set to roll into heat number 2 here tonight.
Looking at,
from qualifying, we got T-Dog 2 making the trip from Brighton, Colorado. Qualified this week in the number 22 spot here this week. And, of course, the Journey to Get To champs qualified 18th on the global leaderboard. You got Russell A.R. from Conyers, Georgia, qualified 17th this week. And that's a gain of 2 positions from the global leaderboard, where he was 19th before the invites were sent out. You got J-Box all the way from Texas. This isn't his first champs. We saw him back in 2019. He was in the top 80 of pro. He finished top 10 in 2020 and already qualified 7th to brackets. We'll see how that plays out. And the 2-time MultiGP champion, Heads Up FPV, 2nd overall in qualifying this week, 3rd on the global leaderboard, and again, twice a MultiGP champion. Gonna try and be the first ever 3-time MultiGP champion, but to do that, he's got some tough pilots here in this race. They tell me that they are set to fly out on the line. I got video from T-Dog, Russell AR, and J-Box. Just looking for some video from Heads Up FPV on our screen. There we go. Got full video. Good luck, pilots. It's a preliminary round. Arm your quads. Live on the Tone in less than 5.
Yeah, excited to see this stream from Heads Up in the HD0. This HD video looking great, moving fast, able to qualify 2nd with that time in that video system, so definitely can still move around the track with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a betting man, but I mean, if I were to lay down a couple bucks on the table or something like that,
couple of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who I'd go for right now. I mean, probably J-Box. I mean, obviously, Heads Up is going to be a safe bet, but for that surprise bet, I would probably go with something like J-Box.
J-Box has definitely shown himself here to be speedy this week. He's had a great qualifying time. He's right behind Heads Up right now if you look at it. Just about 3 gates back now. He must have a little bobble.
The entire field is only 2.8 seconds separated after that first lap in, and Heads Up keeps sliding back up in the number 1 spot. You see him doing that triple cube section over to that Superior 1 roofing, and it looks like we lost our buddy J-Box, the announcer Jinx over there. Looks like our two-time MultiGP champions in prime form as he goes to the dive to the checkered heads-up FPV, getting the win of heat number 2. And now it's a race for the transfer position, but it looks like this one is going to go to Russell AR across in second.
What a finish there. Running for that transfer spot between T-Dog and Russell AR.
Yeah, good watching for sure. Unfortunately, J-Box and T-Dog not able to finish their laps here in this preliminary heat. And they come up a little short, but not the worst. We have a winner's bracket, loser's bracket here. And so we take Heads Up FPV and Russell AR on in our winner's bracket. J-Box and T-Dog will go down into our consolation bracket. And so more racing from everybody. Looks like we have a channel change for Russell AR. Is going to go to race band number 4 when he comes back with Heads Up FPV and heat number 6, match number 6. J-Box and T-Dog, no channel changes, and good luck in the consolation bracket. You're back in match number 5.
Yeah, we'll be seeing those guys here in just a little bit. Match number 5 coming up soon.
Well, of course, the two-time, or I guess it was really the 2018 championship frame is the 533 switchback from one of our great partners, 533. We just saw one of those run with Heads Up FPV. 533, gear up for the season. Check out their switchback, their lipos, their FlexFit hats, and more at fly533.com. I want to thank them for being one of the sponsors right over my shoulder right here. Thank you to the Turner family and all the cast and crew of Mondo as well for supporting the 2021 MultiGP Championship. Well, word coming in that the last result may or may not be official. Our DVR, our remote officials flagged that last one. So there is a review. So there is a review for Russell AR. Our remote officials are now playing that back to see what happened there. They believe he missed one of the elevated gates on lap number 2. So they are reviewing that. And so that may become a really big DVR review because we lost both J-Box and T-Dog on the second lap. So who went further, who completed the last checkpoint successfully, we'll have to check that out.
So checking in on the chat here, we got Double A asking about, a little like how has HD0 performed here at Champs, and we've got some really top guys running HD0, and and both in sport class too. So we saw some guys running in sport class. We got some really top guys in pro class running tonight. We just saw Evan Turner run a heat with it right now. Finished first in the heat. He was able to qualify second on HD0. And with beautiful feet. Everybody on the stream saw the picture there. It looks really great. I don't feel like it's slowed these guys down at all. It really. Yes. Right. Yeah. It's and the feet's beautiful.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's looking like something I may have to try out myself for sure.
It's breakup like we're used to. It seems to not have any issues. Everybody's flying it. Seems to be doing really well. And
yeah, like what was the number? It was like 5 of the top 8 were running HD0 in qualifying.
I think you're going to see the top 4 possibly, but we'll see.
Just imagine that delectable goodness coming in on our 4-way screen when we get to that point. HD0, feel the HD resolution with near zero latency. HD0.com. We also refer to it as SharkBite. It's the same thing. HD0 SharkBite, fly in digital. We're at match number 3 right now. This is BetaFPV, qualified 10th overall this week. Infinity, 36th overall this week, and they had to work their way up through that next 40 bracket. So they're coming in hot. You also got Neukel, the 2020 global qualifying number 1 pilot, and qualifying 5th this week in Leviathan, qualifying 4th this week, and our number 1 pilot on the 2021 global leaderboard. It is a jam-stacked group here in this top 16. The pilots are ready. We're about to launch. It's a preliminary round. 2 moving in the winner's bracket, 2 in the consolation bracket. Leviathan's digital. And we're just going to switch things up here so to show that HD0 that we're talking about. Oh, Leviathan just changed channels to We're just doing a channel change here behind the scenes. And stand by. This next race is going to start in about 20 seconds.
I mean, to me, Joe, it looks like we got Leviathan with a black camera. Maybe his camera's disconnected. Maybe he's having some hardware issues. Because we are seeing an OSD right now. And that would be,
Are we?
my question.
Let me ask the crew. Are we good with Leviathan? Has he got issues?
It looks like Noik's doing some stuff and changing some channels as well. So I'm not sure what Noik's doing unless we are on the wrong feeds here.
2457. I just changed the channel in the slug system.
From my view, it's just interesting. We're seeing OSD, but no actual camera feed. So it does look like we're having like hardware issues. But I mean, I'm not 100% sure. Okay, learning some new things here. Learning some new things. The OSDs seems to be cached. So. Okay. So it's cached in the receiver. That's interesting.
Well, Knee Down just popped in, and I just heard on the earpiece here that Leviathan's battery died. So that's a cached OSD. That means it's just kind of frozen on there. So we should see it back. So we were about to launch it. So Leviathan got pretty lucky right there.
You're going to need a charged battery for this course, I'll tell you that.
Definitely. You're going to have a hard time finishing with a dead battery. Yep, so he was just took his quad from the last practice round and set her back on the line.
We're still just trying to figure out what Noik's doing, but we're just going to allow it.
Just lining things up here behind the scenes. We have another great partner.
I think he's going to try to fly this whole heat with the OSD up just to see what's going on.
Another great friend of ours, our friends at BetaFPV, ready to fly, easy to start. You guys have any BetaFPV micro?
Yeah, their small ducted things are great. The Meteor 65, I believe, that's a great one. Yes. And then they have some larger form stuff like the 85 and 95. You can do some Cinewhoop stuff on with the naked GoPros. Those are really great little packages and like ready to fly out of the box. Those are great setups they do there at Beta.
Absolutely.
The only thing I wish is they sold the naked GoPro with it because I'm not about to be the guy.
Right. Yeah, and I get asked all the time as like a pilot and people that know me, like what should I buy for like a first time, especially Christmas coming up? What should we be buying for first time drone pilots? And always talk about these Beta packages with the Meteor and the little goggles and the radio. It's a great starter pack for sure.
And they have the new Cetus Pro, which is brand new. So you can find out a little bit more at betafpv.com. We also learned that we're able to connect those XT60s with a fresh battery. Leviathan is ready to fly. So we're set to go green. This is match number 3. Good luck, pilots. We got your thumbs. Arm your quads. Live on the Tone, Lesson 5.
Looks like once again we got a couple pilots here with the HD0 feed.
And OSDs. Crisp digital OSD.
Yeah, you got the two up. Neukel leading, Leviathan second. Looks like you may have Seba third, Infinity fourth. And yeah, your two HD0 pilots ripping up this track right here. First going through the triple cube is Neukel, then Leviathan. You got Seba right in the mix. Now it looks like Seba has jumped up to the front ahead of Neukel and Leviathan in the mix. This is a whole new race to have these pilots behind him. Now you just lost Leviathan, so Seba definitely in the lead. Neukel now down into second as they work on, and you got Infinity as well. 1, 2, and 3. Here comes Infinity onto that lead lap right there. And so Neukel, Seba, Infinity. Did you power test this?
Yeah.
Because I'm getting a shit ton of crossing from Infinity right now.
This is
Like I'm talking 800 million.
Oh, Neukel bobbling there. just got passed by Seba. Seba taking the win.
Wow, out of nowhere there.
Oh, yes, Neuchel dead pack there.
Oh, my gosh, look at that minimum battery at 5.35 volts. What? Oh, my goodness. Wow. That was an incredible finish. I mean, I don't know anything else to say. I mean, I would just slide things that way and just say, like, you go ahead, man. Enjoy that. That was good. What is it?
I think that's a sweep so far on my pick. That's okay. You're lucky. So it's time for me to go spot for my boy Limon. He's up at meet 4 right
that's
now.
sweet.
So I'm going to be passing my mic to Chris Perry up here.
Chris Perry, everybody. Come on
MGP
in.
legend from the Northeast. And he's going to be chilling on the couch with you boys on the stream, and we'll be back.
Thank you, Adam Grower.
So I am personally, I'm learning a lot about the HD0 system, and I'm kind of curious. We seem to have, I guess, from my perspective, Neuchel the entire time had his OSD up. Was that on his feed as well, or was that just our receiver?
We're looking at separate receivers, and he doesn't have the same firmware version as this one, and you got to
update your firmwares. You got to be on that. If you're on that Ghost system, you got to be on 1050. If you're on the HD0 system, got to be updated on that.
We're gonna move Seba and Neuchel up in the winners bracket to match number 8, and Infinity and Leviathan into the Consolation bracket, match number 7. Now, word has come in from our remote officials after they've done a little review action. Results official in match number 2. Heads Up FPV and Russell AR. They are that is confirmed. They had to review Russell AR, and they did confirm that he did do the gates in the correct order. So no changes there. Moving on up with Heads Up FPV, and I think we're going to see them in match number 6.
It's kind of a shocker losing Levi that early on. I mean, he was our Mayhem, was it our IO champion, or was our TQ at IO? Is that right?
He was the global qualifier TQ, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Leviathan?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he was the TQ on the global qualifier list, and we expect him to do really well in this race.
Absolutely.
Crashing out on his first heat up is kind of a surprise.
I mean, he was the guy I would have put $1 on the table for.
But, this is his first big race, isn't it? Or IO, and then now this is his second big race?
I think he's been around for quite a few years, Levi.
A little bit. I mean, they talked about him a whole lot because in the earlier, it was like the first year of the global qualifying list, which was 2 years ago, right? And he was like, in his chapter, his region, he was like, they're like, this guy's number 1. And he ended up finishing, not number 1, but he made a statement. I don't think he went to champs that year, but a lot of people have been bragging on him for a bit.
Looks like we're seeing Hyper there on the little feed and his golden orcas that he's always wearing.
Well, maybe. Hold on. Yeah. So I'm thinking 2020 when they're like, Leviathan, he's the next champ, boys. But we're both right because in 2019 he was 565th on the global leaderboard.
I was about to say,
that's what you were talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
How about 1 year later, 565th to 88th? Right.
That is an increase for
sure.
That's
19 to 20 to 2021, number 1. So we're not going to take anything away from him.
No, not at all. I mean, as long as he doesn't crash out on his next race, I think he stands a chance to win this thing.
Next race is going to start here in about 30 seconds. I just received word that there is a review. Oh, no, it's good. So results official on match number 3. So everything's good. Everything's going to be all right. We are all going to Wang Chung tonight. This is match number 4 right here. Preliminary round. You got Potatoes 28th in qualifying this week. Lehman 27th in qualifying this week. They made it up through those 9 through 40 eliminations earlier this morning at 10 a.m. Then you got Jake Hammer. In 2019, he was in the top 75 at champs. In 2020, he was top 25, qualifies 8th this week. And the veteran, who's almost a hometowner from Melbourne, Florida, Hyper. He is the TQ this week. And this is far from his first champs. In 2018, when we first met him, top 25, 29 in 22nd. 2019, 16th overall in 2019. Then we go to 2020. Inside the top 8, he finished 7th. Now he comes into the TQ. He is the one to beat. Number 1. Got the field by at least 0.3 of a second on that average. Good luck, pilots. It's not an ace to chase yet, but Hyper is the one you're going to need to chase. We're going green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. There's the go tone, and off to the races we go. It looks like the whole shot's going to go to Lehman now. Lehman has been flying out of gear here this year, and definitely making a huge statement. I remember when I first met him in 2019 at the regional final in Texas, 2018, and he was just starting. And here he is, one of the champs of the game. And looks like he is doing some damage here, running about the number 2 spot. As I look to Hyper, Hyper is about to go on to lap number 2. There's Hyper with a 29.4.
Nice lap, Hyper. Now, one thing to mention about Hyper is he has a home field advantage here, as this is his training facility. I mean, this kid's here all the time, racing drones with Matt and Michelle, and watching him fly this track on his home field is just unbelievable. He's just so comfortable and ripping it like no other.
Look at this. We may have Ironman mode engaged tonight. Hyper just won his first race of the night. Jake Hammer was running in second there, and he pulls up second, 5.6 seconds back. Lehman, remember I said he was just running out of gear. He's been killing it this week. He finishes third, 1 spot back from that transfer position, 3.9 seconds back in third. But that was a preliminary round. It has a chance to make it to that Final Four and get one more pack than everybody. And Potato, we lost on the opening lap.
That was just an incredible heat. I mean, that's a tough, stacked crowd right there. I mean, to finish 3rd or 4th in that.
All these pilots are absolutely amazing. The talent that has come out this year is just so unbelievable.
I'd be happy to finish anywhere in this. Like, just come on, give me a chance.
Hey, I'm just glad to be out here watching them race.
Yeah. I mean, as Joe Scully said, we're all going to Wing Chun tonight, which I think may have been some kind of hint to something at some point. I'm not really sure.
Oh, it's about to get freaky. Put on a suit. We're about to get wet.
Oh, we always get freaky in here.
We're gonna move. Hyper and Jake Hammer up in the winners bracket. A couple of channel changes coming in. Hyper going to race band 4. Jake Hammer to race band 1. So Hyper race band 4. Jake Hammer race band 1. You're back in match number 8, and into the consolation bracket. We'll take Lehman and Potato. Lehman with a channel change. We're going to take you to race band 1. Potato, no channel changes for you. You're going to go to race band 6 with Lehman and Potato going to match number 7. That was match number 4 in the books as part of our preliminary round as we get to roll into our first round of the consolation bracket. I want to thank another one of our great partners, the king of hobbies. That's Hobby Wing, world's first and only full censored brushless motor, and helping create memorable moments worldwide. You know them for their FC and ESC stack, the great gear of all the pros, and their X-Rotor motor as well. There's Charlie from Hobby Wing. He's going to be joining us a little bit later on as we get closer to the end for the championship top of the four. My buddy, as we get through it, he just wants to be right in the action, kind of follow what's going on. A discount code for all of the competing pilots here tonight with our friends at Hobby Wing expiring tomorrow. Check out the signs all around the Hobby Wing booth. Thank you, Hobby Wing, a longtime supporter of MultiGP. And visit them online, Hobby Wing North America, hobbywingdirect.com. I think he's practicing. Good times as we are now at match number 5. This is the Milkman, Propsicle, J-Box, and T-Dog. You're up. On deck, a winner's bracket, Drobot, Engineer, Heads Up, and Russell AR. In the hole will be Infinity, Leviathan, Lehman, and Potato.
This will be our first consolation bracket, eh?
First time we're going to see tears tonight, Lundy.
Ooh.
Consolation bracket in this is still just such an amazing set of pilots. Like, every single race we're going to see here tonight is going to be unbelievable.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to this one. I mean, we got Propsicle,
Look at that shot.
and the Milkman.
If you're watching this, screenshot that right here. Look how awesome that looks. And we got is that a GoPro lap? Why are you guys whispering to each other?
We were just trying to
whispering
discuss.
sweet nothings in his ear.
I was trying to just find out which the milkman, is he drinking whole milk tonight or is he drinking more 2%? Sometimes he goes skim, but tonight, I mean, I talked to him earlier and it sounded like he was in a 2% mode. So that's a good sign for him because it's not that warm out there tonight, and it just kind of adds a little bit of fat in there to keep you going. So I think I'm gonna see we're gonna see some good stuff out of the milkman tonight.
I was thinking it's more of a heavy cream type of night.
Okay, just having that extra thickness in there.
Thickness, yeah.
I got you. That makes sense to me. I'll tell you what.
They tell me the pilots are ready. Let's launch them. Top 2 stay alive. Bottom 2 finishing up 15th and 16th overall. Pilots, arm your quads.
Here we go.
Live on the tone, less than 5.
J-Box having issues right out of the gate, it seems.
I think that's just going to be that we don't have his feed. There
we
it
just
is.
don't have his feed, yep.
Now, J-Box looks to be reading as Milkman. I'm seeing 2% on the screen right now under J-Box.
Yeah, I was about to say, the Milkman and J-Box.
Same feed. They're flying so close to each other. It looks like the same pilot is flying right now.
It might just be.
No, it isn't. You can see a slight difference. It's stereo optic when you see it twice. T-Dog and Milkman pushing out front.
Wow.
J-Box right with him, though. 1, 2, 3, and Propsicle. Propsicle is the first one to cross on to lap number 2, but there's the Milkman, T-Dog, J-Box in a battle for third. Remember, this is an elimination bracket race. And so Propsicle with a 2.6-second lead over the rest of the field, and everyone else fighting right now.
This is quite the battle for second place right now. They are so close coming into the end of the second lap.
How about it for
Wow.
Propsicle?
Yeah, so there was definitely duplicated feed. Now that.
Yep.
Nice job. J-Box coming in for the second.
There he is. He's nope. That's Propsicle. We're scooching him in there. We'll figure it out here. I was cheering for my man J-Box and Propsicle, both of those pilots. I've hung out with them many a times. It looks like Milkman was on a skim milk night as he is going to be moving out of this bracket now. As this was a consolation bracket, so the bottom 2 are going to be moving on unless there are any kind of reviews.
It looked pretty clean to me, although we were definitely watching his feed in two windows.
Yep. That was that 2% there.
Yeah.
See, I told you it was going to be a heavy cream. Like that was a 50% type of heat right there.
Yeah, it was. It looks like, but I mean, like the separation there between J-Box and the Milkman, even though we were watching the same screen, there's only a second difference there. That's pretty incredible on this course. Man.
That was definitely some prop racing right there.
Absolutely, 100%.
Did the Milkman change his handle? He used to be TBFPV. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say I didn't recognize that handle.
Yeah, well, because he was the reserve champion of sport class in 2019. Here he is in the top 16 2 years later.
Wow.
Yeah, I was wondering why that one wasn't pulling up. Yeah, sometimes, changing the name. Got to use that unique ID. I think we need some continuity here. TBFPV, Milkman, 2%. And so this is where the journey's going to end tonight for T-Dog and the Milkman. They are now finishing 15th and 16th overall from our field of 77 here tonight, and out of over about 700 plus who tried to compete here in 2021. And we're staying alive for J-Box and Propsicle. They're moving up in the consolation bracket a little further. They're at match number 9, no channel changes. Propsicle, J-Box, match 9, no channel changes.
Well done, boys.
You can see all the smiles there in the middle right of your screen, all the pilots celebrating, getting set for their next heat, or calling her a night for the evening.
Who do we got up next, Joe?
Well, I'm so glad you
I
asked.
Hey, we
see
got
Evan
Mike
Turner
Chin
walking back,
on
but
the
I'm not.
screen.
I'm guessing that he's racing out there, or is he helping? Oh,
Yeah,
it
he's
looks
up.
like
Down.
Looks
This
like
is-
we're going to have a show by Heads Up FPV.
that's going to be an HD0 show too, by
It
the
is,
way.
absolutely.
So just a heads up there to our people in the video tent.
So I just noticed Mike Chin commenting on our stream here. What's up, Mike Chin? Team Black Sheep,
White goat.
White Goat.
A little bit of black sheep, white goat rivalry sitting on this couch right now, but we all love each other. It's just drone racing, having a good time.
Just older guys hanging out, racing drones.
Yeah, we're all having a good time.
I represent Team Black Sheep, and got Lundy over here representing Team White Goat.
Kind of the default captain of the white goat over here and the captain of the Team Black Sheep over there.
Yep,
White goat, see, they're a little bit probably more structured than us. We just kind of allow things to happen, and I just somehow became captain.
I've got a real manager here with Doug Kling.
Okay. You got a real manager.
Doug Kling makes it happen. I just get these pilots motivated, ready to go, and make sure that quads are with batteries and whatnot to make the Mayhem team happen.
It's important when you're racing for 12 hours, or as Chris Thomas would want to do, a gentleman's mayhem this year that he's got in his head.
Gentleman's mayhem.
It involves a light racing afternoon, a little bit of steaks. I heard possibly some lobster, which is going to be provided by the Chris Thomas Superior One.
Oh, lobster bite from Chris Thomas.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Mm. I'll believe it when I see it.
We might get steaks, but they're going to be they're not going to be filet mignon.
Hey, but a steak's a steak. This is match number 6. This is Drobot Racer Engineer, Heads Up FPV, and Russell AR. On deck is Infinity, Leviathan, Lehman, and Potato in the hole. Match number 8, Seba FPV, Neukel, Hyper, and Jake Hammer. I love how I'm posing. Look.
Yeah, right? That's a good pose.
That's
so Joe Scully's camera locked up, I guess, and it was just a pretty epic pose there from Scully. But you could almost stop at any particular moment and get a good pose.
Oh, strike a pose.
I don't understand. I'm looking right now at Heads Up feed, and somehow he's getting a core warning. This is blowing my mind. It is freezing out there right now.
How is that even happening? It just knows that.
I mean, I would expect a core warning in the middle of July.
He might have warmed that quad up.
Well, we're about to warm it up right here. Heat number 6 getting set to fly. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Great start here for the entire field. It's going to be Engineer Heads Up, Russell AR, Drobot Racer.
Land now on the Heads Up feed already.
Yeah, that's been all day long. I think he likes it that way.
Dude, I would just disable it. Why bother if it's going to be up the entire pack?
It's Heads Up and Engineer, then Drobot Racer and Russell AR in a battle for third, fourth. There's Heads Up, there's Engineer 1 and 2. Here comes Drobot up into third, past Russell AR, and we're now on lap number 2. Heads Up FPV with a 1-second lead over Engineer. Then Drobot Racer a second behind Tim. Russell AR a second behind Tim. Chasing down Heads Up FPV, the 2-time multi-GP champion. I don't think anyone's caught him yet, but they're certainly trying.
Engineer's trying to reel him in right now. You can see him just pumping.
It's a story of batteries, though, guys. I mean, can his battery make it? This is pushing into this last section. We've seen a few pilots already kind of hit this dive gate, but Everton makes it right through it, right there.
And there's Engineer right behind him.
Minimum battery, 18.3. That is a drained battery. Look at Drobot, 17.4 or 17.94.
I don't know how these kids aren't blowing up the batteries.
Oh, they are. Those batteries are going into a bucket out on the field.
I get one race out of this $50 battery.
We're going to get that one guy that was upset with us for having mayhem because of the waste of batteries. He's going to be so upset because of this event.
Good times, those keyboard pilots. We love them. Well, we take a look and haven't heard yet from our review officials, and looks like they're upset about nope. I've got weird information coming in, team. Weird information. Looks like no issues. Results official. Heads Up FPV and Engineer moving on to the semifinal of the winners bracket. Semifinal of the winners bracket. No channel changes. And then we'll take Drobot and Russell AR to match number 9. We got a channel change for Russell AR. We're going to move you to race band 6. Oh. Race band 6 for Russell AR, Drobot, and Russell AR to match 9.
Oh, my goodness.
Hmm.
Is that Andre? We need to. Andre, you want to get in on this feed?
Come on, sit with us.
Oh.
We're at match number 7.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
This is Infinity, Leviathan, Lehman, and Potato. On deck will be
Can you guys
Siva,
hear me out there?
Noikel, Hyper,
yeah.
Jake Hammer in the hole.
Oh, yeah, they can
Propsicle,
absolutely hear.
J-Box, Drobot,
okay.
and Russell
I'm here.
AR.
Joe Scully, how's it going?
What's up, Quad Father?
Hey, I'm here.
You made it.
Yeah, I'm here to break down the course.
There you go. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. We've already tore down one of the two, so, I mean, it's not a full, but you know, showing up to half the battle, so we'll give you 55%, and you can only go up from there.
Hey, that's a good start.
Oh man, this is good. You got definitely good here. I've been watching the whole 3-hour drive, so it's definitely been some, I've seen some good racing going on. So when I got dropped off, the wife said, "Bye, see you later."
Oh, nice.
So your wife drove you here and allowed you to watch the live stream the whole way?
The whole way.
I love it.
That might be wife of the year.
Props to Andre's wife. the quad father is getting hooked up on the ride over.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That might be wife of the year. That's the second
Wife
MultiGP
of the year?
championship you've taken her
Absolutely.
to. Not that
Second.
you watched it, but the second one that you took her to, right?
Yeah, she came last year.
Oh, that's
yeah,
three.
She was here yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
she's-
3. Yeah,
This is a triple crown.
Oh yeah, don't tell her that, please.
So
Won't come no
she
more.
just hanging out outside right now?
No, she's going to the hotel. She's at the
Oh,
hotel.
she's just going to go to the hotel,
got
hang
the
out.
hotel, 2 dogs,
Yep.
living the
Okay.
life.
I love it. We're at match number 7, midway through. This is going to be a consolation bracket race. So 3rd and 4th overall will finish up 2021 in the 13th and 14th position. The MultiGP ranking. The top 2 will advance to stay alive with a chance to go into our final 4 to play Chase the Ace here tonight. You got Infinity 36th in qualifying this week. Leviathan, the TQ on the GQ leaderboard, 4th in qualifying this week. Lehman, 27th in qualifying this week, and just inside that top 35 on the global leaderboard. And Potato, 28th in qualifying this week. 2 are going to be sent home. 2 going to be celebrating and racing more tonight. Good luck, pilots. Arm your quads. Live
go.
on the tone in less than 5.
Who's your money on?
This is a good race right here. I mean, Levi, he was what, second on the global qualifier?
False start, false start,
False
false
start.
start, false start.
Oh, boy. Let's get this going again.
Oh, boy, false start. What an afternoon it has been. We have tore the rule book apart with all of everything going on. We've had video issues. We've had false starts. This is a false start. I don't
Why
know
are
why
they
you're
still
still
going?
flying. Lemon, bring it in. Potato,
Yeah.
bring it in. False start, false start.
You didn't earn this
Infinity, bring it in. Yeah.
lap. Land your quads.
Thank you.
Go get another
They
battery.
just got excited. A lot of pilots now racing with the AirPods Pro with the noise canceling, so they have no idea for race call. But yeah, we brought it in.
Joe,
Yeah.
what is this AirPod Pro? I've been out for about 3 months.
Noise canceling AirPods.
Noise canceling AirPods.
It's the newest thing.
And we have some track. I have them.
Oh, you
so
have?
we're gonna rerun after some track repair here. So I got the AirPods Pro. I keep them on my belt, charge at all times, and I wear them at home because it's my hands free. But also, you know what it's like, Quad Father.
Oh, yeah.
I got a wife. I got 2 kids. They're young, right? And so I walk around with the noise canceling on, and no one has any idea. And it does just enough that I can make out, as long as I can, do a little lip reading. Yeah.
Lundy, you do owe me something. That's what I'm here for. Yeah. They can hear you. Thank you.
So Quad Father is collecting from Team White Goat as we speak.
Yes, as we speak.
Yep. Can't owe
Had
the
to come
Quad
see
Father.
him. Had to come see him. That was the only reason why I came.
Yep.
But I definitely miss everybody. What's up, Tim?
Oh, there's Tim
Oh
Barnhart.
man, Tim Barnhart. What's up, Tim? Hey, Tim, we gotta get together. Have a conversation.
Well,
Love you, man.
Yeah.
Love you, man.
Yeah, Tim's.
Bumper.
Let's talk to Tim. He's
Yeah.
like, hey, Tim, I heard you.
Yeah, I definitely miss everybody. When I pulled up, I saw a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss you guys.
There's a lot of people here.
Yeah.
Well,
There's a lot of people here. A lot of familiar faces. here
Chicago was
tonight.
great.
yeah, but welcome back to drone racing country. So now you're part of the part of the Florida scene again. Now you're
Yeah.
going to see a lot of people every time you go to a drone race. So of course we are under a restart here due to a false start, and of course at 7.5.2 on the rule book. In brackets, if a racer launches or falls off the launch pad during the arming period before the tone, the pilot will receive 1 warning for the day, and on second offense, we'll have that round disqualified.
So was that a false start there, Scully, or was there?
That was a false start.
That was a false start. Yep. And,
Yeah.
and who was the false start on?
Haven't heard.
So we're gonna find out who caused this delay of game.
Who are we pointing the fingers at?
Yep. Who's getting the warning? Is it Levi?
So many great partners here in 2021 of the
One of these guys
MultiGP
caused a delay
Championship.
of game, and they've got to get new batteries.
Okay, sorry, I stepped away for a minute. I have no clue what's going on. Somebody's got to get a
False start,
battery?
buddy. False start.
Oh, no.
Yep. False start. They continued to fly their quads. I think they did at least a half a lap.
As they should
Pilots.
until the race director calls it. I mean, that's
we
just
called it. They had the AirPods in with the noise canceling, and
Yeah.
you know,
sometimes
thank
you
you
just-
Apple for
that's
this product.
That's actually why I was going. I was out there hitting them on top of the head. One of these.
Time to land, boy. Time to land. Let's go.
Hey, when you're in the zone, when you're in the zone,
When you're in the zone, nobody can say anything to you. You're just going. I mean, that's why you know we're always getting yelled at for being loud in the pit lane, but it's like,
Hey, I mean, being loud is part of my personality.
absolutely, we're just loud people as it comes, you know.
I did construction for a short period of time in my life. I wasn't much of a plaster tender, but during my time there, everybody agreed that my nickname should be Megaphone.
I love it. I love it. Actually, speaking of a megaphone, this is the first event I've seen that I have not seen Chris Thomas walking around with a megaphone.
Well, that's because he has me. So during sport class, he had me actually go around and do the walkthrough because of the fact that I don't need a megaphone, and he didn't have one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. There is a.
Oh, there's the megaphone.
I am currently watching over here on the side as a megaphone gets pulled out.
So apparently it was just hidden.
I mean, there it is. As you can see,
There it is.
It's going out to Chris Thomas right now. Hand delivery. Chris,
That's
be ready.
Michelle's.
Megaphone is coming at you.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's gonna feel
Chris
right at
Thomas
home.
needs a megaphone.
Oh
It's
man,
just
gonna.
fitting.
I'm telling you, he's gonna touch it, wrap his hands around it, and a light is gonna shine down from the sky onto it, and everybody's gonna be happy.
And then no more false starts.
Yes.
We want to thank a few more of our local, corporate, and national partners, bringing you the 2021 MultiGP Drone Racing Championship. We want to thank our friends at Foxier, professional manufacturer of UAV parts. Our thanks to them. They have the Aura Freestyle frame, the Reaper 4-in-1, Lollipop antennas, FPV cameras, action cameras, and more. Thank you to our friends at Foxier, foxier.com. Looks like we're doing some course repair there. We're adjusting some quads as well. And look at those gorgeous orange props there at the top right-hand side of our screen. Those look like they might be Gem fans. Gem Fan, one of our great partners as well, bringing you propellers for racing. They also have drone gates, drone flags, brushless motors, and more. But Gem Fan, the name that leads the game when it comes to propellers. And our thanks to them. You can find out more about Gem Fan at gemfanhobby.com. Our thanks to them, one of our great partners. So that false start was charged to Leviathan. He was the one who got a little too excited off the block.
You only get one.
So again,
Wants to win.
that was his warning, and then any other time that it happens through the brackets, he will lose that race. So can't do it anymore. He's in the consolation bracket. So simmer down, simmer down.
Don't jump the gun, kid.
You know,
Who
that
knows?
does that. I mean, my perspective, that changes kind of his launch style. I think it's going to make him like just a little bit more, cautious on jumping the gun there, and that could potentially, cost him.
Or maybe he's got the AirPods Pro in with the noise canceling, and someone just taps him when it's time to go, and that person false started. Who knows?
Or it could be.
They tell me they're about to go green. We got full video. This is the restart of match number 7. Top 2 advance, bottom 2 eliminated. Good luck. Pilots arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
Here we go.
Right.
Fantastic start there. It's Lehman out front, and issues again for Leviathan.
Ooh, that's
That's tough, man. I mean,
he came in hot. I think he was our number 1 qualifier on the GQ this year. Is that correct?
he was, and that's a second loss, correct, Scully?
Yep. That's
Yep.
gonna be the end of him for this event. Looks like
Potato. It's Potato and Lehman. Potato just ahead of Lehman, so there's basically 2 left, and they're going to put on a little bit of a show here for us.
Like Lehman's coming in. No?
Those Potatoes just ahead of
Potatoes
Lehman.
first, yep.
Lemon is out front by
That's what I thought.
good
Are you crazy?
percentage there.
You guys
Lemon
are crazy.
is out front. No, Lemon absolutely
Lemon.
Okay,
went
they
through
just
first.
switched. They just switched. So the cube was reversed.
It might have been. It might have been. I don't know.
No, definitely. Ivan had him.
One more lap to go.
Infantile is now changing his OSD and his camera, so we're going to just consider him out for the rest of this event.
Yeah, he's out. Unfortunately for Infinity and Leviathan, that's going to be some tears as long as it's as long as there's no.
Oh,
balls on the
Lemon
race.
was having a little bit of issues there, but he is still in front of Potato right now. Now, both of these pilots are moving on, and this is all just, bragging rights here, but it looks like Lemon is going to finish first.
Very nice.
I
You
seriously,
gotta love the energy out there. You can hear them all screaming and having a great time out there.
I hear the pilots cheering. There is some crazy stuff going on the couch feed right now from what I can see. It looks like we are
wow,
in the
look at that
Matrix.
camera.
I did see in between this that I saw that Chris Thomas was handed a microphone, so he's out there with a microphone, just
A megaphone.
megaphone words.
That will get people going.
Yep.
For sure.
But
What is going on with this feed? That is crazy, Dougie.
moving on right now, we got Lemon and Potato. They're going to go carrying on, and it is going to be the end of the line for Leviathan and Infinity.
Infinity.
Yeah, but
So
it's
we're-
just spelled weird.
Forever.
It's spelled
No,
weird.
he's not done forever.
He's done forever today,
He's
right?
just done for the night.
Done for the night.
Done for the night.
He's done.
And
Never gonna come
what
back.
place does that put these boys in?
It's going to put them in 13th and 14th overall.
A lot of cheering coming right now from the chat, cheering for Lemon.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fans.
Absolutely. A lot of fans for that. These
We're-
are the nicest guys around. And during my tenure over at MultiGP doing the development, I actually assisted in creating a ranking system, which is one of the reasons why we had spent the time to send the final results for every race that GP runs. So now at this point, you can hit a single button and send up your entire bracket results as well as your qualifying results in one push, just like we did for the regional qualifiers and regional finals
Oh, that's
back in
interesting.
2018.
Are you saying that you can do that now for just like a local race? You can
You can
submit
do that
brackets?
now for a local race. You can submit the brackets to MultiGP.
As-
I believe Roger Best has been working on making that a finalized reality.
I've been messaging you for years about such bugs and issues that
dude,
we needed to do.
oh,
So this is blowing my mind right now. that we
nothing
can now
makes me more
submit that.
happy. I was pushing to get that data out of live time since we did that, initial series in 2018. And they've always given it to us for the global qualifiers.
Yep.
Before that, the regional qualifiers and regional finals. But now at this point, they've given us that ability for all the local races,
Well,
which is fantastic.
That's fantastic. Because as I'm sure there's quite a few probably chapter organizers that I see down here in the chat, and there's quite a few chapter organizers here, and we all know that we're trying to tell our pilots go here to get your scores and everything like that after the race. But now you're telling me you can just go to the MultiGP site and you can see your scores from a local race.
That's the name of the game.
That's incredible.
It was a bunch of politics and a whole bunch of stuff that had to happen.
We're going to move up Lehman and Potato to match number 10. No channel changes. No channel changes.
Tag in, brother, man. What is up? Oh, I get to sit here with
This is-
Lundy? Oh, man. Black sheep. Oh, I gotta. Hey, buddy. Yeah, this is a big heat coming up with Seba, Noikle, Hyper, and Jake Hammer. I believe the winner's bracket race. Is that right?
Match number 8 is where we're at here in our program.
Hanging out with Mr. HOA himself,
Yeah, buddy.
Sean Ames. I think Sean Ames' first race he ever came to was down in Memphis, where I currently host that chapter. Maybe was that your first race?
I went down there though. I won a gold card. What a gold card, wild card.
Wild card. There was a wild card race to MDX 2.0.
Which was exactly 4 years ago. So I've heard. Kevin Turner came up and told me that he got the notifications on Facebook that 4 years ago today we were all underground. Literally, about half of the people that are here on site right now were under the earth in a cave in Louisville, Kentucky. Racing quadcopters.
Listen, here's the thing, guys. I don't know how many people we got watching the stream, but if anybody knows how to get us into a cave to do a drone race, let us know because we want to do it again. It was amazing.
Well, this is a big race right here. This is match number 8. This is the half round of the winner's bracket. Top 2 advance to the semifinal of the winner's bracket, where the top 2 advance to our final 4 for Chase the Ace for the championship. And we have Ironman mode engaged by way of Hyper. Let's see if we can get full video. Should have 1247.
Now, Shames, if you were going to throw $1 down, who would you throw $1 down on?
I mean, it's hard to bet against the TQ right here with Jake Hammer, but Jake is one of the best there ever was. Oh, Neuquel. Sorry, gosh.
You got
That's a hard one.
You got Hyper, you got
and
Jake.
Seba. I would say if he doesn't crash, Seba takes it.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna go with the wild ride right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that his MO though? Is it just kind of like just crashing around?
I've seen him have a little bit of trouble this weekend, but the kid is incredibly fast, and maybe he's peaking late. So here we go.
I love it.
All right, pilots are set. We got full video. Ironman mode engaged. Let's lock and load. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
Oh, and just like that, Neuquel has trouble off of the start. He is on the ground. Is that a upside down backwards prop, or what is the situation? Hyper now tangled up in one of the cubes.
Is that 2 left up? Oh, or are we just getting duplicate feeds?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Noik and Jake Hammer from...
I have no clue who I'm looking at on the ground.
Don't either.
Earlier. Yeah, Neuquel and Jake Hammer still in the air, so if you are flying, as Joe likes to say, you are crying tears of joy. Oh, Jake Hammer's down, but I don't think it'll matter here because...
both of these pilots are going to move on. And this is a winner's bracket. Is this correct?
Yes, this is a winner's bracket, but this means that our
Ironman clause.
Ironman is disengaged, I believe. So I'm sure that behind the scenes, some folks are going to take a look at this one and just see what happened there at the beginning. We were kind of doing scrambled eggs with the video feed, so it was a little hard to know what was going on. But yeah, right now, Jake Hammer, Neuquel doing a victory lap here, getting ready for is it finals, Joe? Where are we heading? Semifinals. They have made it to semifinals. Jake Hammer nursing that battery. Looks like he's 21 volts, so he's gold and just gonna park it. Little freestyle with the middle cube. There we go.
Beautiful. Good job, Jake Hammer. There is the feed that is coming off that HD0 is absolutely gorgeous, especially at night, I feel like.
Yeah, it definitely looks good. Lots of hoots and hollering from outside. Yeah, lots of noise
There's
being
our buddy
made.
Charlie and Den. There's the pilots running out there. Looks like Jake Hammer, maybe?
Yeah, that definitely caught us by surprise, seeing, it looked like someone, initially it looked like maybe Neuquel, but someone, hit the dirt off the start. So, who would have thunk it?
Cleva, you've been summoned back.
Cleva, I found it. It's a miracle. There's a look. There's Alex FPV, everybody.
Oh, my goodness. That feat, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Alex is having a time of his life this weekend.
Dude,
Yeah.
every time that he is anywhere, he's having the time of his life. Remember the first time we met him? That was 2017 Reno, and he was bouncing up and down on that stave. Look at Chooch and Chief over there.
Yep.
Yeah, just living that dream.
Living
To the moon.
life.
Throttle 100%.
Well, look at this. Neuquel and Jake Hammer going to our semifinal, the winner's bracket match 11, no channel changes, and Seba and Hyper to the consolation bracket, no channel changes for them. Look at Smiles.
Got smiles from T-Dog and Mom.
That's Nicole.
Waving at everybody at home. Huh?
Not
Ooh,
Nikki. Nicole.
I like this.
Oh,
From,
excuse
I
me.
like this from. I like this from Tim Barnhart right here. Looks like many people down there in the Florida could use a MultiGP beanie cap. Ooh.
Oh, that's a good little tip. We do have them in stock on the
Oh.
MultiGP store, multigp.com/shop for the beanie or the toboggan. Go the hoodies.
There's a blast from the past. Our buddy America FPV says HOA. He is still a member of our team. Not sure when he has flown last, but good to see you there, Dallas. Hope you're well. Glad you're out here enjoying some drone racing on the internet.
I heard that they were having internet drone racing nowadays. Yeah, heard that was going to be happening. Yeah, the drones on the internet.
Sky FPV in the chat. Another teammate there. Double A. Yeah, this is cool. That's the thing. When you're here watching it live, you don't get to see the interaction with our homeboys at home doing our thing. So
Dax to see over there calling out cares. Good for him. Looks like we're getting the pilots lined up out there. Looks like we're gonna have Prop on the line this time. We're kind of wondering if we could get like a call out of who's going up next.
Oh, well, I'd love to do that. Just going to double check a few little things here. Just going to change some numbers to align with numbers. That's just race director talk. You know what I'm talking
Well,
about.
Lundy, let me show you this here while Joe's doing that.
Okay.
Go to mgp.livefpv.com.
Oh, is that where you go?
And we can see all of the heats.
We're at match number 9. It's Propsicle, J-Box, Drobot Racer, and Russell AR. That's who we're going to have flying.
Would
That
you
is a
looky
heat
there?
right there.
Yeah, this is going to be a cinder for sure.
This is my favorite when we go through this bracket, match 9, because you always see some pilots in this one you don't expect. And, well, now it's really balls to the wall. You got to go full throttle, full send, and do or die.
Looks like Mr. DRL himself, Captain Vanover, has stepped away from the Vanny Cam tonight and has come into the chat. See him here talking about spec racing and MultiGP next year.
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
going to join us. I think something come up.
Well, I've heard he's actually been out flying the Vanny Cam up in the sky this whole event and kind of giving us that overview feed from up top.
Well, because he's part of Rotor Riot, which is owned by Red Cat, which bought Skyper Sonic, and so that's what they do. They have the technology to fly like miles away, like thousands of miles away.
Okay.
Yeah, we
So-
actually,
He's
at the
sitting
Freedom
in-
Spec Finals, we had the Vanover cam as well. Yeah, he's definitely the best overhead track cam operator in the game.
In the middle of Texas, he's down there just flying this camera all around the country. It's incredible.
I think it's Skyper Sonic, right? Skyper Sonic.
Those words
mean,
do go together.
yeah.
I think.
I'm really rooting for Propsicle here. It was devastating to see his battery just give up the ghost there in the first heat of this entire bracket. So definitely pulling for our buddy Prop there from local to us there in the Midwest near St. Louis, Missouri, in the south part of Illinois. So.
It's always hard for me, man. Like when you get down into these, like I know all of these pilots and I've hung out with them at some point in time, and it's hard to say like I'm gonna cheer for this guy.
Yep.
Prop's been to a bunch of our local races. J-Box flown with our team at Mayhem.
Right.
It's just it's very tough when you get down to these. Who are you gonna cheer for?
Yeah.
I don't know. All of them. I want all of you guys to win.
Yep. J-Box put me out of the brackets in the winner's bracket and the loser's bracket last
Let's go
year.
J-Box then. Hey-ho.
Yeah. Captain Vanover's enjoying our humor. It's just good to see you out there interacting with this, Mr. Vanover. Wish
Yep.
you were here. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Vanover, a previous MultiGP champion?
Yes.
Right?
2017.
That's right.
This is our 7th MultiGP Championship.
Unbelievable.
2015, Night Fury, the first ever MultiGP champion. Then 2016, go to Muncie. He wins back-to-back. Then 2017, we go to Reno, and it's all Captain Vanover. Then a new guy comes onto the scenes when we go to Las Vegas, and that's Heads Up FPV. As he wins his first title, then he becomes the second back-to-back MultiGP champion when he wins at Daytona Stadium. And then last year, we had another MultiGP champion. So now we got 4 of our 7 years crowned so far. That was Fat Kid, who we saw eliminated in the 9 to 40 brackets a little early. We didn't expect to see that, but the pilots are ready here in match number 9, and this is an elimination round as well. Don't be, well, it's not Fat Kid, it's Soren. It's Soren. Everyone changing their name.
That's correct.
I wish I had a new name for myself. All right, pilots. Top 2 stay alive. Bottom 2 are done. Arm your quadcopters, if you please. Live on the tone in less than 5.
We're off first to that start gate.
It
Look
is
to be
so
Prop.
close right now. Hard to call. They're all going through that cube.
Yeah, I think Prop's definitely out in the lead at the moment.
Yep.
Prop J-Box.
J-Box
Russell
and
AR
Prop are
had
neck
some
and
trouble
neck.
there, so he is definitely in last place, pushing, and I'm sure he's going to give it everything he's got to try to catch up with these guys. But right now,
It is Prop and
J-Box
J-Box.
actually, J-Box in the lead, Prop right behind him.
And then Drobot in third, about a gate back. Watch the dive. 1, 2,
Ooh,
3.
J-Box with a
On to
little
lap
issue.
number 3. J-Box 0.6 of a second ahead of Propsicle, who's a second ahead of Drobot, and Russell AR is 4.3 seconds back from staying alive. Top 2 stay alive. It's right now J-Box and Propsicle, but Drobot right there about to make a pass here in that section. Let's go up the tower, through the tower. What a line Drobot just did there.
Yeah, I mean, as you saw in that at the end of that first lap, J-Box did have a little bit of issue as he ran into a flag, but didn't slow him down too much. It seems
Yeah,
like he's
Prop
holding his
definitely
own.
out in front from that mistake. And there we go.
Oh.
Propsicle gets the win.
J-Box gets it wrong.
Gonna give He's still gonna win.
Yep.
Or second.
His
No, he's
battery,
done.
his battery.
Oh,
He's
no.
done. Drobot
Oh,
pulled up
no.
second. Drobot passed J-Box there right before the triangle gate. So
Wow.
finish there is going to be Propsicle, then Drobot, Russell AR finishing up third, and J-Box is going to finish
Man.
up fourth.
Man, that battery can just
Battery
get you.
management proving to be the deal breaker in this event today. That was devastating for J-Box. Definitely had number 2 locked up. Drobot, he flew a flawless race as well. Obviously more efficient. His battery only got down to 16.2 volts, whereas J-Box is trying to get it done at 10 volts. So, boy, oh boy, that was a heck of a ride.
10 volts just won't do it in this type of race.
I would say no. Let's go to match number 12 with them. Propsicle, Drobot Racer, no channel changes. I'm just going to check our remote officials. I haven't got word on that one if it's official as of yet, but I believe we're taking Propsicle and Drobot up to match number 12. And then I think it's going to be 11th and 12th overall for Russell AR and J-Box when it's all said and done. And that was match number 8 in the books. Coming up next, match 10, Lehman Potato, Seba, FPV, and Hyper. On deck, Heads Up FPV, Engineer, Neukel, and Jake Hammer. That's a semifinal of the winner's bracket. Then following that, Propsicle and Drobot Racer.
Everybody was coming for a fight.
What a race here. So Lamone,
Oh, that one is under review.
Okay.
good to know.
Oh, we got some dancing going on right now with Chris Perry out there. Oh, he's
Getting it.
talking about him.
We got to make sure he stays off the couch. Keep him on his feet so we can see these moves.
Maybe he's
Looks like he's sponsored by Coors out there as well. That's Coors Light coming at you now.
I thought he was scouting for the casting couch. Like, hey, inside we got this nice couch camera.
You can slide
Leaving that
right
alone.
on in it.
Do you want to be a
Leaving that
star?
alone.
We can make you a star. We're under a review. Of course, we can keep racing thanks to our remote officials who are doing those reviews remotely so that we can continue through our program, and then we'll get updated on the happenings behind the scenes. We talk about lipos and battery. Have I ever told you what my favorite lipo is?
Oh, no.
It's an R-line. I got
Okay.
R-lines in everything. In my Tiny Whoop, in my Tiny Trainer, also in my MultiGP Spec Racer, and even in my Vortex 180. I love them. They're my favorite. And I storage charge them at 100%. They've never let me down. Thanks to our partners, Tattoo, focusing on battery packs for drones, multi-rotor, and more. JensTattoo.com. Great partners.
That's what we fly over here a lot of times.
It's good to see the dynamic duo there of Lamone and NM Grower, our track designer, walking back. NM Grower is going to keep all the good info going in Lamone's direction and do some spotting for him. They're in our Airbnb, so I know we're definitely pulling for our buddy, the Russian assassin. I've been calling him the Russian Dragon Slayer now after the previous heat. So, Hyper, obviously, a member of our Team Heart of America, pulling for him, the hometown king. Look at that. Look at those kingly golden goggles that he won at Freedom Spec Champs on July 4th in Moberly, Missouri. He's got. Oh no, he did not win those there. I'm sorry. He won those at the Tiny Trainer race.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, excuse me. But yeah, a little bit of maybe some foreshadowing there on his legs. I don't know. We all think we'd like to see him there on the world's biggest stage. One of these days. One of these days. I heard he didn't have pants, so glad someone could hook him up with some.
Oh, we need it. What is it, like 42 degrees outside right now?
It's below zero, yes.
It's cold
degrees
enough. I
below
mean, it's the
zero.
typical multi-GP champs weather, I think, from my perspective. It's always cold. Bring some sweatpants.
If you are curious how terrible the weather can be in your location, bring MultiGP champs there.
100%.
And we will show you. I think the coldest day ever in Las Vegas, we held champs. And
Yes. It
the windiest
snowed that
day in
morning.
Daytona. Yeah, it snowed in Las Vegas when we had the champs there.
This is the first time in 7 years they told us.
Ooh, look at this.
We got full video. Looks like 2 are going to be sent home. 2 will stay alive. Good luck, pilots. Arm your quads.
Be a very big race.
Live on the tone in less than 5.
Here we go. Oh. Lamone actually looked like he might have gotten the hole shot, but hit the ground right as he went through the start-finish gate. So Hyper now definitely way out in front. Looking at these other feeds to see what exactly we're working with. Potato's got some quads in his feed.
When we get to this level, it's hard to bring any mistake back. Really
Right.
is. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can actually do anything to bring that gap in closer. But it's really just up to the other pilots to have.
We're
this
about to go into lap number 2 for Hyper, a 30.1 gate-to-gate opening lap. That's what we saw in qualifying, just a hair faster. But he has got the field by 1.8 seconds. It was Seba crossing second, Lehman in third, Potato fourth with one more lap to go. A little bit of separation across the field. But Hyper now running and racing for redemption after losing Iron Man into this consolation bracket. And he's going to be coming in hot into that Final Four. Don't count out Hyper yet as he comes out of that extended
Here you go.
Super 8. There he goes across
Making
the
it look
line.
easy.
30.1, 30.5, consistent as well. Seba crossing over in second, 2.8 seconds back.
And that's going to be all she wrote for Lamone and Potato.
Yeah, Lamone takes up third place. Potato, who had a bit of a bobble there in the middle of that race, comes up in fourth. Both of those guys super proud of what they're able to accomplish here. Potato, I like to call him Pro-tato because if you remember at Freedom Spec Championships, he was the one past the bubble for the pro class. And we come to find out there was a review that had to happen. He got bumped, and he, at that moment, became pro class Pro-tato.
And this year, I think that puts him ninth. So he's going to better his 2020 ranking at the end of it for Limon. We met him the first time in 2018. He was 30th overall champs, then 10th in 2020, and now 9th overall, I believe.
Getting some reporting of lost audio, guys. What'd you say about Hydra there, Joe?
Well, just taking a look at that leaderboard, the bracket, so you can follow where we're going along. Our thanks to our friends at Hydra FPV, Joel Stewart and team, helping us with our graphical overlays. We certainly appreciate that. We just finished up number 10, and we moved Hyper and Seba from match 10 up to match 12. And look at where we are. We're just to the left of Shames and Lundy. We're at match 11, semi-final of the winner's bracket. Heads Up FPV, Engineer, Neukel and Jake Hamber. I was wondering who Big Chungus was. That's engineer. What a weird name on his Hydra profile.
That's nothing but engineers, MO right there.
Engineer.
Oh boy.
He was he won one of the collegiate drone racing championships. He was top 25 in MultiGP in 2018. He was 7th in pro at the champs in Vegas in 2019. He was second runner-up, 3rd overall on our podium last year in 2020. And here he is in the semifinal. That is it's a pretty good pick right there. Of course, you got Neukel. We remember the story there last year. Well, in 2019, he was top 15. Last year was the TQ on the global leaderboard and was TQ at the championship, and then had a dreadful set of, I think, final brackets. I think it was the final 4 where he finally fell, and he finished up in the number 4 spot overall. Not that we were looking, we were stoked to see that. You also got Jake Hammer in this one. One of these 4 pilots, or 2 of these 4 pilots, going to make it to our final 4. We met him in 2019. He was just outside of the top 50 at the MultiGP Championships. A year ago, he was top 25. This week, he qualifies 8th, and a chance to finish up 8th, or a chance to finish up as your champion. And, of course, the guy that we brag about each and every time, Heads Up FPV, our 2-time MultiGP champion, doing that in 2018, 2019. He was a top 10 the year before. He was our reserve champion last year, and he's going for the win to be our first ever 3-time MultiGP champion.
I was just looking outside just to make sure they had enough room for Jake Hammer to stand out there.
Memories. They tell me the pilots are set to go green. Good luck, pilots. Top 2 going to our final 4. Bottom 2 grinding it out in the consolation bracket. Arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Stand by, stand by, stand by, stand by.
That's going to be his only one.
They did not call it a false start out on the line.
Okay.
He fell off before we said arm your quads, or as I like to say,
said,
I didn't get the S. I didn't get the S.
So it looks like Noik, once again, we're going to have his OSD up. This is because of just a slight beta or slight firmware issues.
They're just double checking
No
as Thrash reset the quad, and they're like, you good with the way Thrash said it? Noikel says, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
And as I understand, the pilots can't see that OSD. That is just for us.
That's just on us. Okay.
Yep.
Well, just for the people watching. That's all it is.
Here we go. Semifinal winners bracket. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
At the pop and drop launch by Heads Up FPV, looks like he took the whole shot handily. And boy, we are racing with 4 quads going wild. Neukel, we got the rainbow view of death there, so it looks like he might have went down.
Is that the marketing term for that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Trademark rainbow.
I love it. I love it. That lets you know that he's done. It looks like
One down, one
Yep.
to go. 29.6 opening lap for Heads Up FPV. Engineer in second, 1.8 seconds back from him.
Yep, Jake Hammer gets it wrong. He's down, so it's literally just Heads Up and Engineer in the air at the moment.
Jake Hammer's back up, and he gets onto that lead lap, so he won't be shut down. You never know what could... No, he's on his lid pretty side up.
Evan getting in there in that first lap with a 29.6.
Yeah,
That's a fast lap.
This one's going to be fast as well. I don't think he's made a bobble.
Nope.
Over to the dive, to the checkered for your 2-time MultiGP champion, pushing
just
a third.
Just better.
High fives right below me. I like it.
I've had the opportunity to chat with Heads Up a little bit tonight, talking about how he feels about going into this competition, and he always likes to point out that it's whoever's night it's going to be. And he's humble in that way, but I'll tell you, I don't know that I've seen him fly better than he is this weekend, so super pumped to see how this one shakes out tonight.
And that's Joel Stewart from Hydra. He says, Evan's video is so pretty. It did look kind of pretty. Of course, that is HD0. Feel the HD resolution with near zero latency. HD-0.com, or look for Shark Bite. That is what it's being distributed as at your favorite FPV shop with the Fat Shark lines.
Yeah, I can't wait to give that shark bite stuff a test. A good run. But we also got to point out that Evan's got the best in his game building his quads, our buddy Armando. So there's no poor grounds going on there. Yeah, that's why his video his quads fly so great. His video looks so beautiful. And we really get to see something special out of our buddy Heads Up every time he's on the line.
Once Shames gets that HD0 feed, it's gonna be beautiful looking at his backyard because we're gonna see it all the time.
All the time. You'll see my backyard in HD.
So we are going to now take Jake Hammer and Neuchel to the semifinal, the consolation bracket. No channel changes. And Heads Up FPV and Engineer going to our final four for Chase the Ace tonight. No channel changes for them. They're back in match number 14, 15. At least 14 and 15, maybe 16, 17, 18. We haven't talked about that too much here tonight, but we'll get there when we get there. As we hit match number 12. Now the whole shot rule comes in play as we're down to the top 8. And so that means contact before the start-finish gate resulting in an immediate crash will result in a restart. Whole shot rule now in play. You know, we have some great partners and probably the largest partner in our MultiGP family, Superior One Roofing, with over 40 years experience and thousands of roofing projects under their belt. Why just get a Superior One? Why just get a roof when you can get a Superior One with locations in Florida and Texas as well? Thank you, Superior One Roofing. And also one of our early partners still with us here in 2021. We can't thank them enough. Our friends at Horizon Hobby, the undisputed leader in radio control. And right now, you get $10 for every $100 you spend through tomorrow at horizonhobby.com. The bonus bounce back coupon could be yours. Thank you to our friends at Horizon Hobby. They pretty much have the Induct drinks, which is a big part of the Tiny Whoop movement, and they're in everything. They have sims, radios, planes, drones, full build kits, and all the support as well.
That's what I'm thinking. As an FPV guy, I've got plenty of FPV drones, but there's nothing more relaxing than getting behind like a big Radian, Horizon Radian plane and cruise around to your local park. So maybe you FPV guys out there could give line of sight planes a shot. It's a good time.
I don't know. I can't fly anything line of sight. So you're taking me out of that equation. Maybe I can learn on one of these things.
We'll get Lundy and Inductrix. It'll be great.
Oh, yeah. It'll be fantastic.
Start there. It's a great place to start. Talking about lipos and power, our friends at Thunder Power RC are with us as well. Powerful, durable, compact, and an unbeatable price. Thunder Power RC. You know them for their Elite Series and their ProLite X as well. Thank you, Thunder Power RC. And MultiGP is proud to be the special interest group in the Academy of Model Aeronautics for drone racing. We're the SIG. We're a big part of the Academy of Model Aeronautics. We're just a few of the 195,000 members strong, with nearly 57 of those being youth members under the age of 19 since 1936. Thank you to the Academy of Model Aeronautics, a great partner of our 2021 series and championship as well.
So we're waiting on video from Hyper.
Yeah, definitely going to be a heartbreaker here. I really got a lot of respect for all 4 of these pilots, and I'm having trouble choosing who to root for. Definitely our teammate Hyper. I was at Propsicle's first race just a few years ago.
Yep.
Drobot, him and his dad, always loved seeing him around. And Seba, who was, I think this week it was the first time I met him, an impressive kid out here making a name for himself as one of the fastest pilots in the world. Can't wait to see this heat go down.
Absolutely. All these pilots are great. In this situation, honestly, I just go alphabetical. I just choose, go alphabetical. Those are my top 2 pilots.
Yeah, I almost have to think about who I want to see in the next heat. The next heat they're going to face, I think, was it Neuchel and Jake Hammer on that other screen.
Dougie, can we get that screen again? Mm-hmm. All right, so we have, I guess, Hyper on pit switch. Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Yeah, we got all 4 of them. Love it.
We got full video. This is match number 12. Whole shot rule in play.
Love these heats.
Top
It's a-
2. Go ahead.
It's a long hole shot, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not like the old school hole shots. This is a battery burner. Tunnel of love shot is what I'm being told.
3rd and 4th, I believe, or 7th and 8th overall. Top 2 advance to race back-to-back in the semifinal, the consolation bracket, where the top 2 go to our final 4. We've already got 2 in our final 4 for Chase the Ace here tonight by way of Heads Up FPV and Engineer. Will 1, 2, or more of these pilots join? Let's see what happens. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5. Big
Here we go.
start.
That's close.
Almost line of sight. It was like 4 wide. The whole shot went to Propsicle, and I think he is your one to watch, but there is grouping right there. Almost all 4 of them going to that cube at the same
Drobot.
time, and we have a victim.
Dang.
Having a little bit of issues with Drobot, but he did get right back up. So
Yep.
Look at Propsicle and Hyper, both of them on top side of the tunnel, about to go into the tunnel. Hyper just in front of Propsicle. We'll see if they trade places, and they have a little bit of breathing room. It's Seba running 3rd, Drobot in 4th, trying to get himself back into this. Another top 4 finish could be his, but he's got to find some gear. And there's another switch up. Hyper led for a little bit, then Propsicle led for a little bit, and it looks like it is going to be Hyper just ahead of Propsicle. Both of them going through that double stack cube. Watch this. They are going, and they are not going to quit. Hyper going through that cube, and it looks like Propsicle just made the pass on the low side of the cube. This is a battle for the 1-2. This is just a precursor to our championship here tonight. Hyper ahead of Propsicle. Another change. Let's go over to the dive. There goes Hyper,
There we go.
he's just ahead of
Clean.
Propsicle.
Wow. So that's going to mean Hyper with 2 28-second laps versus,
Yeah.
I guess, currently Evans 2 29-second laps. That's going to be a good race, what we're going to come see in here in a second.
Hyper was a 28 and a 29.
Go
Propsicle
figure.
was a 29 and a 30. And we're going to send Seba off in that number 7 spot. And Drobot finishing up in the top 8 in 2021. If you got amped up, everyone outside, how about a little bit of love, a round of applause for those pilots? If we send 2 home, and we get ready to run 2 back-to-back.
You know, Drobot at this point is one of the OGs. He has been one of the top pilots in this sport for what feels like decades. I know it hasn't been, but
I think he's been at every major event that I've ever been to.
you know, he missed last year. But we're happy that he was back and was able to make a big showing here this year at the 2021 MultiGP Championship. So
A lot of times they don't count last year in anything. It always has an asterisk.
well, I count last year, Lundy.
Oh, do you now?
Yes, I do. I happen to.
Okay.
It's wild how competitive it continues to get every single race. So I'm not certain that those results are yet final. No reason to think they're not. It looked like Hyper and Propsicle were incredibly clean in that heat. But they are going back-to-back here. It looks like they're going to be going up against Jake Hammer and Neuchel in the semifinal round.
That's
Very
right.
clean race.
Semifinal of the consolation bracket. And no channel changes. Hyper and Propsicle, whenever you're ready, we will launch them. Look at all the smiles.
Official.
Everyone loving the race in here tonight. Even Quad Doc, he's watching in person, and he's on our YouTube chat.
Yeah, I'm thinking about old Propsicle and Hyper's quads there. Like going back-to-back like this with as hot as those components and electronics get. Like, you know, it might take a second. At Mayhem this year, we started to see problems running quads back-to-back that hard. And it'd be interesting to know if, I would venture to guess that they're putting the exact same quad out there. It's almost a superstition thing. You don't want to go switching things up. But maybe,
You got one of them running hot, you're going to run it back to back.
you're
But I
going to
mean,
run it.
You
Yeah.
know, one thing we did was we did upside down, air compressed air. That'll cool your motors off if they're running hot. But
Right.
at the same
That's the
time, on a
ESCs.
nice-
I believe at Mayhem, or not Mayhem, but at I.O. for Team Heart of America, we were rotating quads for heads up. That's a lot different because each, in this situation, every pack could literally be the last pack. So,
Yep.
there's a lot more riding on the line. Whereas at Mayhem, if you, are switching to a new quad and it's got a tick or a bug or something, you got a much higher margin for error that
Absolutely.
we don't have here in individual championship level racing. But it's going to be interesting to see how these components hold up. I know Heads Up FPV is running those beautiful hobby wing stacks, and in my experience, if a hobby wing stack ESC hasn't blown up in the first 10 packs, it may never blow up. So I think it's going to hold up just fine.
You do see that a lot.
I love you,
those
Sean.
ones that you
I
get,
love you.
and they run forever. I know. Are we hearing Charlie out there?
Yeah.
Oh, that was Charlie. Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Sorry,
It's a
guys.
true story, man.
I just want to say I love you, Sean. I love you, buddy.
I love you too, Charlie.
We love you, Charlie.
I love my hobby wing gear.
That's Charlie with Hobby Wing. Coupon code Charlie with Hobby Wing
That's not the
for
coupon
10%
code.
off.
It's MultiGP or MGP Champs 21 is a discount code that you guys can use through tomorrow. So help yourselves.
But you didn't tell me you don't even have to be here, and now you can use that code? That sounds awesome.
That is,
Oh.
oh, man.
No, it's true. Anybody can use it. It's
HobbyWingNorthAmerica.com. Is that right, Charlie?
HobbyWingDirect.com.
Excuse me.
HobbyWingDirect.com.
What's that
Hobby
code
Wing
again,
Direct.
just so we can get it, recorded down?
MGP Champs 21.
It's on all the signs in the pilot pits. MGP Champs 21. You're good.
Well, I might forget it.
How about this broadcast, though? Doug Kling has really outdone himself, plugging in 19 different cameras. As I'm looking at
Wow.
myself, I'm looking at Lundy and James, I'm looking at Charlie. Charlie's our reporter from inside the flight line. We're about to go green in about 30 seconds, but Charlie, what's going on out there?
Oh, squeeze.
Yeah,
The
what's the mood
intensity-
like on the line?
You
Oh, he's
guys
getting
are
his head
maybe
squished
missing
right
out
now.
on the intensity that's on the line out here. These guys are getting fired up. They're ready to go, though.
All right. Well, thank you for that report, Charlie. And, of course, thank you for your great support from our friends at Hobby Wing. Semi-final of the Consolation bracket about to go green right about now. It's Jake Hammer, Neukel, Hyper, and Propsicle. Two of these pilots will join Heads Up FPV and Engineer in what is going to be the most epic Chase the Ace finale for the MultiGP Championship I think we've ever seen. Part of that journey includes this moment right here. You got one shot, one opportunity to make that top four. Will you capture it or let it slip? Not through your fingertips or your thumbs. It's about time to go green. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
Here we go.
Just letting them shuffle all up there, and the timing has them less than 0.2 of a second when they went through that start-finish gate. And this one is going to be a tough one. Look, all four of them through the cube. All four of them now Hyper with an issue. Your TQ, he needs to get into this Final Four to defend it. We don't want to see our TQ of the weekend come up short. It would be traumatic, but he's got the speed to make up the time, I think.
Yeah, so far it looks like both Hyper and Neukel have had small mistakes, but now Jake Hammer, who was clean up into this point, is stuck in the triangle gate. Devastating there. Hate to see Jake Hammer go down like that. Hyper now has a mistake, so it might be worth it for Jake Hammer to try to get out of there if he can.
Oh, Hyper doesn't crash out. He just has to go back. He had made up enough time. He was 1.8 seconds back at the line. But right now, it's all Propsicle and Neukel in that order, I believe.
Yep, Hyper's just waiting for somebody to make a mistake, and then he can sneak on in there. But
yeah, I guarantee you,
I don't think it's gonna
Hyper's
happen.
flying like he never has before. Propsicle across. Oh, and Neukel barely milks the battery. Propsicle and Neukel 1 and 2. Hyper, that mistake, the early mistake and the second mistake, were too much for him to overcome. Looking for these results to become official eventually, but right now it looks like Neukel and Propsicle will be joining Heads Up FPV and Engineer in the Final Four Chase the Ace here at MultiGP Champs.
what a final that's going to be.
And there'll be no channel changes either unless the pilots want to do it. We'll leave it up to them. I'm sure they're happy where they are. Propsicle and Neukel moving on up to our Final Four for Chase the Ace tonight. And that means it's going to be a send-off here for Jake Hammer, finishing up in the number 6 spot overall. That's where he was on the global leaderboard this week. He dropped down to 8th, but a top 6 finish for him. And that's a move up. Last year in 2020, he was top 25. The year before that, he was 52nd in pro. So, I mean, that's his best finish, and we're excited that we were a part of it right there for Jake Hammer. And then Hyper, one of our most veteran pilots. We met him back in 2018. We're going back to 2018 when we met him. He was top 25 at Champs.
Yep.
The next year, he was 16th In 2020, last year, he was 7th. This year, 4th on the global leaderboard, our TQ this week, and he is going to finish up in the number 5 spot overall. Now, they do tell me that that last run is under review.
Oh, what's going on there, Joe? I mean, we're kind of getting a little bit of heads up about that, too.
I'm hearing right after the launch, they want to make sure that the pilot in question went around the 2 flags at the start on the launch.
That long hole shot, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that would awful to bring that back because of some kind of technical issue like that.
Looks like Neuchel might be the one that they're taking a look at here.
What's your guys' favorite part of MultiGP Champs? DVR reviews.
Hanging out with Charlie.
No, DVR reviews.
Hanging out with Charlie and DVR reviews.
Well, that brings up some suspense. Look at that. Where'd he get that burger from? The food stand closed up a while.
Food's been gone for a while. I don't know if that burger's been hanging out.
I just spotted a Yassam sticker there on the backdrop. Good to see him dropping his tags everywhere here at MultiGP Champs.
You know, he does some wonderful prints out there. Really does. Really does. There's some dancing guys in the back section. Yeah, it looks like a typical college football game early on.
All right.
Well, we didn't tell you guys that that's actually Kiss Cam right now. I don't know if we told you that.
Oh.
It's Kiss Cam. There we go.
Yeah, so man, Jim Snodgrass getting some love there from Dreadpool. Boy, oh boy. I think he's dreading standing next to him right now, but
knee down, part of team.
Our friends from
people.
Arizona there representing. Good to see those guys. Colster and Hatter had a great run at the Sport Championships. Always excited to see them racing, father and son duo from the great state of Arizona. So
they might be used to this kind of cold weather here at night.
Yeah, Joe's literally pulled out right now to go out. Yeah, they got him on the screen there. This is serious stuff happening here. This is, who's going to go into this, this final Chase the Ace heat. We got to get it right. That's the thing. It's always frustrating to go to these timeouts, but at the end of the day, we want to get the call right for the pilots, and I guarantee you that they're going to do their part to make sure that the right call is made here. Heads Up FPV back there watching intently to see who he's going to be racing in this final heat. So.
Oh, I see a little smile coming out there, too.
You know, when we watch DRL, the one thing my kids always want to know is, what is he listening to? Because he's always rocking the one AirPod, just like he is right now. It's almost his trademark thing. He needs an AirPod in teal.
You know, I was talking to him earlier, and he told me it was Words of Wisdom by Sean Ames. It's an audio book. And it's a 40-hour compilation of just Sean Ames.
Not sure what the call is, but Heads Up seems like he's confident in what he thinks about it. So
I was told it was Mondo telling him, "Don't crash my copter" on repeat.
Well, he wouldn't be telling him that on DRL. It'd be one of the guys over in Tech Ops, like, please don't make us fix your drone again. Yeah. Seriously, look at those
such serious
tilted
thoughts.
Eyebrows. Having a look-see. Yeah, looks
like it has been decided.
No, I think they were actually just putting an order in on Domino's.com.
Nondescript expressions by all the officials.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, pepperoni sounds good.
Yep.
Hand tossed or thin crust?
Oh, yeah. One of the heroes of MultiGP there on the left, our buddy Paul, the flight line director at every major event that I think I have ever been to here hosted by MultiGP. So just want to do a big shout out to one of the unsung heroes here.
Paul Adkins, everybody.
Paul Atkins absolutely runs that
Look at that
line.
beard. Look at that beard.
Yes. It's a man that keeps this show running. Without him, we would still be way behind on this whole thing.
My favorite thing about Paul is I have argued with him so brutally, and we are always kind to each other at the end. I really appreciate that about my friend Paul.
Well, after further review of the play, It's first down, Neuchel. He's in the final four. Propsicle and Neuchel moving on. So the question was from our remote officials on the launch. He took off, and of course you have to go around those 2 flags to start the run. That is part of the course. We saw that earlier in the brackets, in the 9 to 40 brackets, where you have the checkpoints that you got to go by. And he was really high, and he was pitched down. But after a review of play, and unfortunately we couldn't bring it to you because we had to use our digital DVR for that one, and we confirmed that he did do that correctly. So your final four for the 2021 MultiGP Championship is Propsicle and Neuchel coming in out of the Consolation bracket versus Heads Up FPV and Engineer. What a final four this is going to be.
Getting up close and personal with our buddy Charlie. Yeah. There was like leaded solder particles in those nostrils.
That is not good. That is not good.
Yeah, we got the dual like stereo Charlie cam there. We had him in both cams for a minute. It's kind of exciting.
The internet doesn't need that much of me, trust me.
Nope. Boy, oh boy. Excited for Propsicle here. Last year, Prop had an incredible run-up to the finals at MultiGP Champs, and unfortunately, I'm not sure what we say about what went down, but Prop did not make it to the Final Four, and it was nothing short of devastating. So I am over the moon to see him here tonight. I wanted to see him there last year, but excited to see that he has just come back stronger than ever and ready to show what he's made of here on drone racing's biggest stage here at MultiGP Championships.
You know, we do want to thank a few. I heard the great shout out there for Paul Atkins, our flight line director for Champs, does an outstanding job, and many people that stepped in. But heroes of the game here, and they may not be with us. They are our remote officials at home that have been watching every channel, giving us the feedback that we need. We're looking for engineer out to the line. We want to thank Rolf Copter STL, Mayan Hawk, Jonesy06, also Mike Carroll, that's Aviator, 918 FPV. There are remote officials here for the top 16. And, of course, the replay official remotely as well. That's Mark, 2Dog RC. And, you know, we give them our thanks. We can, there's only so many things that words can do. So apparently the team behind the scenes have got a special gift. Dougie, can you bring up my camera real quick? We got a special gift for 2Dog for all of his efforts, and it wasn't just with remote fishing. A big part of our team in the planning of Champs with the scheduling and so forth as well, and you know, helping us remotely, and communication is always a big thing, helping us with the communication channels. And the plane ticket was bought, just the plans didn't work out, but 2Dog has been working just as hard as us here on site, remotely supporting the event. We can't thank him enough, and so some friends of his made a special thank you gift for him. And so the next time he comes to Florida, he's got the proper attire right here. Maybe when Mayhem comes back to Florida, Team Mamba with the trunks, it's perfectly the perfect attire. Thank you, 2Dog, for real though, for all your work. And,
are those Speedos?
Enjoy those. Yeah.
That's great for the weather.
If you want to go fast, wear Speedos.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
My goodness. Those are beautiful.
Not in a Speedo kind of way, yeah.
So, Chase the Ace, this is where we're at. Your final four pilots have been decided. Neuchel and Propsicle out of the Consolation bracket. Engineer and Heads Up FPV out of the winners bracket. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to run the fastest 4 pilots in MultiGP drone racing, not once, but at least twice, and maybe up to 5 times, in a format that's easy to follow that we coined in about 2018 called Chase the Ace. What that means, we run every single pilot, and the pilot that wins the event is the pilot that gets 2 wins after we grid them up. So if we run them the first time, and Neuchel is our winner, when we grid them up a second time. If Neukel wins that next race, we're done. Otherwise, in this hypothetical situation, it'll be on Propsicle Engineer and Heads Up FPV to get the next win. Let's say hypothetically Propsicle does. Now you have 2 pilots with aces. We're going to run a third time. So if Propsicle or Neukel in that hypothetical situation got an ace, it would be done. They'd be the champion. And then, obviously, with 4 different pilots, we can go right into sudden death, which would be round number 5. And that has not happened at Champs. It happens very rarely. But looking at the stacked field, that is a possibility that we can go that way. Second, third, and fourth are based on your finish points. You want the lowest score with your placings added up. It's Chase the Ace. And we're about set for round number 1. Shames, are you ready?
I'm ready. I want the 5.
Lundy,
I want the 5.
Are you good to go?
I'm ready. I want it quick. Let's get it done.
Charlie, are you stoked outside? He's our sideline reporter. He'll be coming right to us.
I'm extremely stoked.
Here we go. Pilots, Chase the Ace round 1. Arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
Oh, no.
You're having a little bit of, looks like a desync on the start there.
Definitely guessing desync for Propsicle, so he's playing catch up. But remember, this is Chase the Ace, so nothing's over till it's over here. Looks like we've got Neukel and Heads Up, kind of stereo image, maybe Engineer just a touch behind those two, but they are up and into the triple box section here.
Right now, your 2 leaders are on that HD0 feed. It looks like Heads Up is following Neukel, trailing just right behind him.
Barely.
Yeah, Heads Up just got passed by Neukel. Here they are, lap number 1 done. Neukel and Heads Up, 0.02 of a second apart. Engineer, 1.2 seconds back. And second and third just took each other out, and they are in the woods. They're going to find Brian Laundrie tonight.
Reminiscent of what happened to our buddy Kevin Turner in sport class brackets. Evan found the trees there, but remember, this is Chase the Ace, so we're going to do it again no matter what. But right now, Neukel way up in front.
Oh, my gosh. I know a lot of people made a bunch of dollars on that play right there. That
Oh,
was
man.
incredible.
Neukel having to baby it, and he makes it. Wow. Neukel.
Wow.
Well, he has waited a year for that moment right here. It was a heartbreaking 2020 championship to be the TQ of the year, of the season, TQ of the event. Here he comes in, and it's a whole new game out of that consolation bracket, and he gets the win of round number 1. Half a second back from him was Propsicle in the number 2 spot. Engineer pulled up 3rd. He was a bunch back, and Heads Up FPV in the wilderness.
Heads Up copter is out in the woods building a cabin somewhere, I feel like.
Yeah.
It was deep.
There's a little log cabin out there. I got you there, Charlie.
It was obvious. I think that I feel like I saw 3 or 4 passes between the triangle gate and the finish gate on that lap. Those two quads were locked up. I'm surprised it took that long for the midair to happen. Unfortunately, Heads Up FPV did not get the best end of it this time, but we're going to do it again.
That was neck and neck race, and it was beautiful.
I feel like it was a gate-by-gate race. They were back and forth each corner for the most part through that first lap. Heads Up doesn't like copters in front of himself, and you can see kind of went for the move there and then sent her into the woods.
Absolutely. Do we have any feed of them recovering this quad out in the middle of the woods?
That would be interesting.
How far did we
there's
go?
several cell phone lights. There's a couple headlights going, but they're taking the long walk over there.
It was still plugged in, so I'm sure they'll just throw it in turtle mode and
they
give
got
it
a
little
beeper.
zip zap. Yeah, I'm sure Mondo has some sort of beacon that.
Mondo just walks out and says, "Where are you, copter?" And the copter answers back to him because that's how tight they are. They know each other well.
Well, we're going to have to regrid this line up at least one more time.
Dougie, we got you a second camera on all that if you need.
No. I'm curious to see how this affects our buddy Propsicle. I'm not exactly sure, but on the launch, he had some trouble. I'm guessing, just from experience, maybe a desync. So he, more than likely, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he pulls a new quad, if he tries to put that one back up and nurses it on the launch. Like, what kind of adjustment is he going to make? But I know we're not done seeing some crazy stuff out of Propsicle tonight for sure.
I mean, I think up until like a certain point, there's a lot of like games going on of, do I need to push as hard as I need to in this round? But I think once you get to this one, you got to go as much as possible.
In the finals, you go 100.
112%.
12.
Looking at the chat here to see what's going on. Amari, our buddy from Heart of America FPV, says Noik barely finished that last lap. That is true. He barely hovered himself through that finish gate. Lipo manufacturers and retailers are going to appreciate that. Let's see. Jimlon99 says go prop. Definitely rooting for our buddy Silas. Joel Stewart loving that big chunk, in the finals.
There's been some discussion on the sidelines of which battery manufacturers paid, Neil to build this course.
All of them.
Yeah.
Well, did I tell you about all of our battery sponsors of the 2021 champs?
You have not yet, Joe.
Well, I did a few times, but we got Tattoo and Thunder Power RC, and of course, Fly 533. They have lipos as well. So lots of lipo sponsors of this event, and they all came in at the last minute, I guess, after they saw the official track release on Velocidrone. How about the women of
Our buddy
MultiGP?
John, yeah.
It's John Geyser.
I'm a dude, so.
Oh.
There's our buddy Mondo.
There's Mondo, 533 switchback. That's an HD switchback.
Missing
Or,
one
sorry, a switchback 0, excuse me, with the heads-up motors, with the heads-up props. 3 of them. Yeah, Mondo, put that one under the table. It will not fly in that condition.
I feel like Mondo was a hand model in a past life, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, one of the many things he's done insanely well, I'm sure.
Thanks, Savannah.
Sometimes he keeps that one hand in a glass container. Zoolander? Nobody? Come on.
I missed it.
But why hand modeling?
I think the pilots almost look like they're ready. Yeah, no, maybe.
Yeah, they're getting situated out there.
It's so dark. Do we have the light behind them? The
Oh, yes. Your favorite light is on. Don't
Okay,
worry. It's just
okay.
the camera.
I didn't know how to describe it.
That one.
Okay, no.
Unfortunately, this live stream just got flagged on YouTube.
Easily description.
That's like the third time in the last 15 minutes.
As the night goes on, guys. The track, actually, we just got a question in the chat. This track's still up for the first part of tomorrow. Yes, Joe, I think we are running the
There's more
top
racing
16
tomorrow.
of the next 40.
I'm going to try to change my flight so I can come hang out with you guys all day tomorrow.
Yeah, buddy.
I'll be there.
That's good.
Well, then I'm out if Lundy's staying.
That's my buddy Charlie.
And that's going to be some good racing, too. It is our next 40 top 16. And in that, we're going to see a bunch of pilots we've seen over Sport and Pro over the last couple of years. Din, Screecher FPV, Lundy FPV is going to be with us again tomorrow. Proximo.
That's defending champion Lundy.
That's right. Yoss, defending champ of the next 40 bracket. So will we have a first ever 2-time in that division?
I hear Yawsom's gunning for you, though.
Hey, bring it on. Let's get another white goater up there on that podium. I love it.
Yawsom is in that field. Jay is in that field. Knee Down. King. AK Drones is in that field. Nightwing. Seth PV. He may have to change his flight, though. Craven FPV is there. And Daylight FPV, Fastmax, QT. He's a young guy just slaying it out there.
You can call it the
QT
next 40,
from
but that is a
Utah.
pro class bracket, no matter
And
what
Ansel.
you say.
Ansel competing at his first champs.
Oh my gosh. I know. I mean, a lot of people
Chin
might.
Can is in the chat and he wants to know, is this the final? I'm sorry, boys. I don't mean to interrupt you, but Min Chan Kim is a big deal. Yes, this is the final, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, FPV Jesus, thank you for blessing us with your presence here. Min Chan Kim in the chat. Good to have you here. This is the Chase the Ace Finals. We are one heat into Chase the Ace. So far, Neukel has an ace and a various finishing order I can't remember at the moment, but we're getting ready to start our second heat of Chase the Ace Finals here.
Well, that first one, second went to Propsicle, third went to Engineer, fourth went to Heads Up FPV as he went into the woods. The first ace was awarded to Neukel. If Neukel wins this next heat, he'll have redeemed that 2020 showing You know he's gunning for that win. 2 up, 2 down, back-to-back aces, and to be crowned our champion here tonight. I know all the Team Velocidrone would love to see that. A lot of people cheering on Noik tonight, which means it's on Propsicle Engineer and Heads Up FPV to push us to extra innings. It's Chase the Ace round 2. Neukel is your chase to ace, ace to chase once again. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone. And less stand by. Stand by. They are awarding that one a false start.
Oof. It was an arm floop.
Yeah, maybe a motor direction or prop backwards. Maybe when he armed, it just freaked out like that. I'm not exactly certain, but that one took quite the tumble.
Yep. Where I'm from, they call that prop on wrong.
Prop on, prop off, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to wait till he gets reset.
It's okay now.
I think that one's fine. I think he just
The copter just wanted us to wait a little while before we started.
Well, we've had a discussion here with our flight line director Paul Adkins and our race director Chris Thomas, and we concur that we will not award a false start to Neukel on that. Not sure what his issue was, and I know he fell off, and so he's gotten 2 gimmies here, but same situation as before. I said arm, and I didn't finish your quads, and I was already hearing yelling in my ear, so we won't charge him that one. The situation once he gets back in his seat will remain the same, and that is Neukel's your ace to chase.
Yeah. I'm curious if he armed and wiggled yaw to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did, but
Do the old tilt forward, kind of make sure you get your props all right.
yeah. Find out.
Look at this race is going to start in about 25 seconds. Look at Charlie right now. He's got the GoPro and the mic ready to go. All right, Charlie's itching.
I was looking more at the Hydra leaderboard here and looking at EM drones falling from grace at the very top up there. Must have bet it all on Evan.
All right, Charlie, you got the race call. We're going to give it to you. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
Final 4. Off and away here as it looks like Neukel takes the reins. No, check that. Heads up across the line first, but a bit of a bobble as the rainbow road lights up. So it's going to be Propsicle Neukel Engineer as they cross the line that time by. Propsicle through the bottom side. Looks like Neukel chasing hard. They're at the top of the tower now. Neukel beats them there. They're at the bottom of the tower coming through the far side. Up and around into the Superior 1 tunnel. Neukel has it at the moment as they approach that triangle. Propsicle there with a big bobble. Neukel across our finish line. Engineer in the 2 spot. Moments behind him. They're in the backside of the course now, working their way through the switchback section. To the first tower they go. Nose to tail, I'd say a couple tenths separating them right now. Neukel has it. Engineer wants to keep it alive. The ace is being chased by Engineer himself, putting on the pressure here in the closing stages of the lap. Last couple sections through the figure 8. Neukel has it in his hands right now. Engineer pushing hard, but our Neukel's down as well.
No.
Both copters are crashed, trying to turtle mode. Who's going to get it back up in the air first? Neukel down, Engineer in the air, working through the finish. An amazing finish here as Engineer keeps the race alive. Unbelievable finish here. Race number 2 of our finals. Chase the Ace is still alive. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Engineer.
Wow. Not that I didn't want to see Neukel win. I want to see whoever wins in Heat 5. That's what I care about. So excited to see Engineer come across.
That was amazing.
Absolutely. Wow.
That was amazing. Hey, is anybody a big fan of Chase the Ace? I'm a big fan of Chase the Ace.
Hey,
Getting the word from the judges that Engineer's run was clean. So everything else is still getting checked out. But Captain Vanover says that's the coolest thing he's ever seen. We got a congrats Engineer. I'm excited to see him doing what he's doing tonight here in Citrus Springs, Florida.
Heads Up gave Engineer a huge high five and hug after that one. Very
I
glad
bet
to
he
keep the chase alive.
And Vanny saw it all from the Vanny cam up top. Can I get one of the boys that I'm hanging out with to bring me one of them Kerr?
Lundy's calling to his team. He needs. I'm surprised they didn't notice on the feed that your cup was empty. Oh, man, amazing finals here at the MultiGP Championships. 2021 edition here at the No Quarter Ranch, the beautiful Brooks expansion. Matt and Michelle, thank you so much for welcoming us to your home. They told me that they had this idea that they were going to buy some property somewhere and build a drone ranch, and I said, yeah, sure, buddy. I've heard that story before. And it actually happened. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been to somebody's house that has a better backyard track than this, but let me know. This is a pretty amazing place. So can we get a small round of applause for Matt and Michelle, please? Oh, Matt's excited. He wants to get on the camera. Look.
Put him out there. Let him talk about how
big
awesome
hug.
this place is.
Lovely.
Oh.
I met what I originally called Mark and Mary years ago at an ASL at the what was it, the Maker Fair, and we went to IO and they were working the flight line on the sports track. And I actually thought his name was Mark, so I'm yelling at him to get a pilot. I'm like, Mark, and Michelle's like, who are you talking to? I'm like, that guy right there. She's like, his name's Matt, you idiot. I'm like, oh, sorry. Still to this day, I call him Mark. But.
Well, we're just doing some confirmations here behind the scenes, but we believe the finish order in that one, obviously Engineer first, Neukel second, Propsicle third, Heads Up FPV fourth. So as we look at our rankings here right now, that is going to put Neukel in the lead with a first and a second, then 1 point back Engineer with a third and a first. Then Propsicle in third with a second and a third, and Heads Up FPV in fourth with a pair of fours. Now this is Chase the Ace. We run repeatedly until someone wins twice, and that means even though Heads Up FPV has a pair of fours, hasn't got a win, and nor has Propsicle got a win, if either of those two pilots win this next heat, we're going to push it to a round 4. And if every one of our pilots get a win over the course of this, it's going to go to sudden death round number 5. So, and we'll be doing some math.
So MCK FPV just piped up on the stream saying, this really sucks. And, you know,
I think he was talking about your mic technique.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. So MCK, can you hear me, Dougie? All right, so MCK FPV comes up on the screen and says, this really sucks. And you know, I can tell you for a fact, MCK FPV, let me tell you, racing over here in the United States is a whole lot of fun. You got to come over here and join us sometime. And
I've heard from a little birdie that MCK might be on this side of the pond in January and February of this next year.
Looking forward to it. I hope you can come over.
You've heard it first.
Wait, was Chris Parrott getting a little heated with MKC?
To be announced.
No, I'm telling him.
I feel like
we don't talk to Drone Racing Jesus like that.
For a fact, it doesn't. I just wanted to come over here and put it out there. You want to come race? This is the spot to do it.
Yeah, the No Quarter Ranch, Citrus Springs, Florida, pretty much halfway between Tampa and Orlando. And it's, there's a bunch of turns. You definitely need to pre-program the trip in Apple Maps or Google Maps because you usually lose reception. And
if someone took out a cell tower around here, none of us could get between the place
You're
and where
right.
we're staying. I don't think that I came to this facility the same route twice. Like, it was every time I'm like, hey, that's a cool new house I haven't seen yet.
oh, no. Let me tell you what, Charlie. I pulled out my phone. I have 2 SIMs in it, and neither of them would give me data. And I'm like, I think the hotel is in this direction. And I went in the right direction, but I missed all the roads we normally turn on. And I found one that there's like no speed limit signs on it, and it has dips. And I'm like, what is a dip? Well, my Jeep Cherokee got airborne on a dip, bro. I learned what a dip was in a hurry.
That's not the type of dip I'm used to.
No. I like my curves a little curvier.
I did enjoy the drive-in.
Curvier.
I got to drive through several different types of neighborhoods on the way here, so that was a good time. Many levels of Florida humanity as I passed.
But the question is, how many planes did you get on to get here, Charlie?
Only 2.
Well, that's right.
And I went the same direction towards the event the whole time. There was no backtracking.
How many
time.
nights did you sleep in an airport?
None. They gave me a
Wow.
hotel this time.
Wow.
I got new status thanks to my buddy Scott Aaron's. So
Nice.
All right, we're trying to get some YouTube apparently pulled up on the stream, I think.
whoa, I feel like Doug has pushed the wrong button.
Law and Order. Organized crime.
There's
All
Doug's
right.
playlist. He's into Queens, Queen family sing-along.
At least it was
Stargate
YouTube, you
SG-1.
know what I'm saying?
No one's pushing buttons. Uh-oh. No one knows what we're talking about. We're looking
We're seeing
It's a
a
computer
there's a
screen.
computer screen. It's-
But everyone at home is
Definitely,
looking at,
yeah.
what are these guys talking about? They're not seeing
Yeah.
what we're seeing.
I mean, I see a start. I see a taskbar on the bottom down there.
Oh, Ethan says no, Dad. No, it is on the stream.
Like I said,
Yeah,
at least
we're-
it was YouTube that he brought up.
We're simulcasting the Indiana Hoosiers Michigan Wolverines football game right now.
Oh, we're getting kicked off now real quick.
I think we have
There
more
we
viewers.
go.
Oh, it's
nope,
back. There you go.
Nope.
It's back.
I think you
Done.
found the right button. I just it's
There.
the
Let's
application.
go,
Oh, it's-
everybody. Let's go. It looks like we got the pilot.
It's on the screen called Program.
That's gonna be heads up out there finishing up. I think he's gonna be their last pilot gridding up, and we got some antenna feed checks.
Since the very day that I heard the term Chasey Ace, I've been absolutely in love with this format.
Mm-hmm.
It does all the things that we need in regard to crowning a champion. The winner always wins the final race, and you, as long as you're still racing, you've got a chance to win the entire event. So I'm super pumped to see this one, how it plays out. And at this point, I'm rooting for Heads Up FPV and Propsicle, both of which are fully capable of winning this next ace and put Neuchel and Engineer back on their heels a little bit.
My favorite way is the way it scores second and third place. There's always some
I don't even care about second and third place.
fun stuff that happens down there.
Because if you ain't first, you're last.
you're last. Mm-hmm.
Did you guys practice
Look
that
at-
one?
Yeah.
I mean, we practice everything we do.
Hey, how good was that last race call by Charlie out there?
Yeah, no, it was beautiful.
We
man.
are- me and you-
my heart was beating.
We are
grabbing-
so
I'm
awful.
over here. Just oh my gosh.
I'm
Charlie.
lucky because there's only 2 copters left. I can't keep track of 3. So.
Yeah, this stuff's hard. You're watching the screen, and it's like, yep, don't know what to say.
I've
There's-
taken my hats off many times to Mr. Scully for the amazing job he does, being able to tell these guys
yeah.
where they are on the track while they're 4 up with some pretty good accuracy as a guy who's trying to see if he's right or wrong.
Charlie, once you get to this level, I mean, it is incredibly hard
Yeah.
and difficult to call this.
And sometimes they switch positions between obstacles, so you may say it, and then 2 corners later, it's completely, or a corner later, it's different. So,
It's just like I tell my significant other.
What is that?
but
Sometimes we switch positions.
Oh. Well, it is Wednesday night, so.
What time is it here?
it's
It's 10 p.m. We're-
only 10 o'clock.
yeah, if you're still watching this and that hurts your feelings, you should be in bed.
It's making me feel real good about my 6 a.m. flight that it's only 10 a.m.
Yeah, but Charlie, you canceled that flight so you can be here for the
I'm
for
going to
the
try
top
to.
16 next 40.
I have a plumber coming on Monday, so I got to be home. So I need to leave on Sunday to make sure I can get home by Monday.
Sounds like Mondo got the Mondo get the toolbox call.
Oh.
He needed the keys.
That's going to be bringing out some parts.
Mondo engaged.
Mondo engage. It's over now. These kids don't have a chance if Mondo's getting the toolbox.
We're seeing some rainbow action here. Engineer plugged in on the line. Looks like he may need to be unplugging. I'm not sure.
Mondo's toolbox just consists of more pre-built copters, though, right?
More than likely, but
He travels with a 100-pack.
It might have just been, as something as simple as battery straps. I'm not sure. But I know our buddy Alex FPV has been advocating for a T-shirt to be made by 533 that just simply says, Mondo, get the toolbox. I would buy that. Put a F in the chat if you would buy one too.
Why F? I always use 1. I do push 1. Back in my day, before YouTube live streaming was a thing, I used to work with Live RC, and we would live stream the RC car races and have like just a chat, like in the old days. It's really weird.
Yeah, we got to do super chat. That'd be so awesome. Is that what you guys were just talking about? Super chat?
Oh, yeah.
I think they're ready.
What's super chat?
Super chat is like people can like contribute to the stream in the chat, and they get a super chat.
They fixed it.
We did a regional final, and someone PayPal'd me money for a beer at the airport. That's the closest we've had for a super chat, but I still certainly appreciated it.
I think I remember that.
You were at that one. Chase the ace, round number 3 for the 2021 MultiGP Championship. 2 aces to chase. The first one, Neukel, winning round number 1. The second one, Engineer, who had one of the most spectacular, grinded out, grit and determined runs to get his ace in round number 2. If either Neukel or Engineer get this next win, they are your 2021 champion. Heads Up FPV and Propsicle are due for an ace. Do they get it in round number 3 to push it a 4th? Let's find out. Pilots, arm your quads. Live on the tone, less than 5. Big launch and looking like some shaky video. Looks like they're still flying through it, so not the worst here. How about Heads Up FPV and Neukel? Wow. Both in HD 0 and both of them side by side, just ahead of Propsicle and Engineer, trying to keep them within their sights as we try and follow this along with the analog. Propsicle working that tower section on the backside as just with Heads Up FPV and Neukel. And it could be a 4-way battle right now. Charlie, you're watching a line of sight. What do you see?
They're all right together as they work their way through the topside section. Coming through that final dive. They're side by side over the hurdle. And the first segment of the last lap now as they work through the backside section. Heads Up with the chase cam on Neukel, but just by a corner or two.
It looks like Propsicle's way out in front, though.
Yeah, Propsicle had a 2-second lead at the checkered line onto lap number 2, and he's still holding them off. He has yet to get an ace, and he wants to bring the party out here on a Saturday night. It's a Propsicle party, everybody. He gets his first ace. We're going to round 4.
One closer to that
right.
5
We're
that
doing
you're looking
5.
for. One closer.
Where's Heads Up?
Engineer with a second place finish, or Prop and Heads Up both with a 1 on our screen. I'm kind of confused by that.
Now I'm hoping those pilots were not just...
Well, kind of. Propsicle fired up on the flight line, keeping the chase alive as we get to watch more MultiGP finals racing, everybody. How do you feel about that? I feel the same way. Very excited. Very excited. Propsicle was going so fast that I didn't even notice that he was leading by a couple seconds because on my side it was a little blippy, so I thought he was kind of out. Turns out I was wrong, and he was crushing. Nice run, Propsicle. Nice run, buddy.
Propsicle was playing a different game in that last heat. It was wild.
What did he run? A 28.4 and a 29.3 that time by to wrap it up. 57.7 in 2 laps. What was the TQ time? Was it 57? Somebody tell me. Where's the super brain? You guys are supposed to know these things. Somebody knows. They're just not telling us yet. More racing, more funds. That's right, Biz. I agree. Cheers to that.
More racing, more fun, says Biz FPV.
No, they pointed in the chat. Neukel needs like 10, 15 more seconds of run time, maybe.
We're going to require at least a Heads Up finish, and that'll take you to your 5. Something that's never happened before, as far as I know.
I'm going to tell, like, what if someone said, hey, there's a race of 4 of the top pilots in the world. Who do you think is going to win? Who are you going to say? Just like,
I mean, just based off of history, Evan Turner. So I mean, like this is a very good.
We're
He's
going 5
deserved
tonight.
his one.
We are going 5
Yeah,
tonight.
I mean that, dude.
Without a doubt.
Hey, you know what? I'll put $1 on the table.
Yep.
You wanna
And,
put $1
and
on
during
the
that heat, Mondo was getting the toolbox, so it's over. These kids stand no
Oh,
chance.
the toolbox. I like it.
Yeah.
Hey,
You wanna put
Ro-
$1 on the table? I'll give you
Rogers
$1.
here, everybody.
Ooh.
That usually means
I don't know
something
if I got-
awesome.
I'm, just,
being
I'm
checked
giving
in.
my friend over here $1, and he's going to put it on the table. We're just giving each other $1. Oh, he's got $1 himself. Look at that. I didn't even know he had one.
This is your dollar.
Hey, that's $1. That's a nice $1. Okay, I'm going to put my $1. Are we going to go one more? I'm saying it's going to be decided.
And I'm saying it's not.
Okay.
What do you guys say in the chat?
That is not a bet. It's just a friendly.
Is this race going to be decided in Heat 4 or Heat 5?
5.
Tell us in the chat. What do you think? What do you want to see? How about that?
Yes. What do y'all want to see? What does the chat want to see? Because we're all engineering it here. right
Charlie
now.
wants the 5.
Press
he knows
5
what's
if
up.
you love racing.
There you go. Just put the number 4 or 5 in the chat.
Because then everybody's got a chance on the last race. It's so much better.
I'm out here snipping ESC wires right now. Whatever y'all need.
Did you say snipping?
Snipping 'em.
snipping them
Snipping 'em.
wires.
I'm out there, just small cuts. That's all we need. Just leaving one little wire. Not a doctor.
5 rounds from our buddy Cry Viper, who is the TQ at the Sport Championships.
Tim, you're not allowed to choose a pilot.
Uh-oh, we have someone on your team here, ex-racer. So they're not even in the game anymore.
There's a handful of people that want it
There's
to
a
be
4.
over in the next race. Fans of Engineer want it to be over in 1. Chris Reaper says, let's get this done in 4.
No.
I mean,
Lots of 5s.
I'd rather have
What are
any
we
of them
seeing in
win
the
in 5.
Hydra app? That's kind of a curious
Simplify
question.
says 4+.
Joel saying, heads up, Noik, big changes, props.
Is that Sean Ames? Hey, Thomas Scher's World. What
No,
were you?
it's Sean Ames' doppelganger.
That is Sean Ames.
They call me
actually.
Shames,
Official,
actually.
official Shames.
In this form, I am Shames.
You had another name at some point too, didn't you? A
I don't
long
think
time
so.
ago. Did you not? I don't remember.
I don't think I had another name.
No, just you're fine, Tim. We love you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We know that MultiGP fans love polls, so here's the poll. 4 or 5. What will it be? Type it in the chat.
No,
You can make it happen.
I think the poll should we do 2 polls or 1 poll? And then we'll do 2 polls based off of that poll.
You know, the polls have been effective.
Yeah, they have. They've gotten things changed and done.
In MultiGP, you have to be good at
zipper
setting up a
pole.
pole,
a
taking
poll
a
that
pole,
feeds into another
and
poll.
then
that-
working with pole to build the track. So there's 3 types of poles you have to be good at in MultiGP.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
And then the pole position.
I mean, if we just zippered Charlie into this couch right now, we would be fine.
Zipper.
Oh,
Zipper
right.
the
Hey,
announcer?
Thomas.
Well, because you'd sit about right
yeah,
here.
that Nebraska Furniture Mart was a great race
High
this
zipper,
last
low
year
zipper.
in Kansas City, Kansas,
Make
actually.
it a short joke.
Had a great time out there racing with those guys.
Let's go ride
Nebraska
on an
Furniture
airplane.
Mart loves drone racing, and I love Nebraska Furniture Mart. Yeah.
Was that just? Are they a sponsor now?
I don't know. Should I tell them my address?
I need to stand next to the Wing logo.
Miller Coors, we're also accepting sponsors. Just trying to say. Coors.
You know, if Bud Light Orange hasn't sent Joe Scully money yet, I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah. I certainly send them mine.
And you should too, everyone. Buy Bud Light Orange. It's delicious.
Yes.
We're just waiting to get ready to go. Looks like we got all pilot feeds. Looking
Loical's
good.
getting his goggles on.
Do we have an official from our judges in the background?
Now you're asking questions that you can't hear the answer to.
Yeah, how are the standings lining up at the moment?
We got 4 pilots working their way to the line, choosing their favorite flying chair and preparing themselves to do battle here. And what could be a final, what we're all hoping for, is one more race. As the fans of racing are pulling for Heads Up FPV, the fans of Propsicle Engineer and Neukel are pulling for them. One more win for Propsicle Engineer or Neukel means this championship is over. If Heads Up keeps it in the mix, we'll be going to 5, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited. Stand by, pilots. There's some more clicking going on.
Hang on tight, everybody. As we're trying to do is
I got real
to
excited
make sure
here.
that we take care of all pilots and their positioning.
Now, if someone knows a little something about drone racing, it's our pal Alex Vanover, and he thinks that this race is going to be finished after this heat. But I will
Alex.
say that what that means is that his mortal enemy, Heads Up FPV, would not be the winner. So, of course.
Alex, who?
Vanny, are you willing to Venmo $1 to me right now, and I will slam it down on the table on my side of the table? And if you do that, we're good.
Yeah, Vanover's looking at a Neukel or Propsicle. So Vanover's saying that he doesn't think Heads Up's got what it takes to pull it out this time.
I don't know if Vanny's willing to
I
put
think
$1
he's wrong.
on it.
Alex is talking trash through the internet to Heads Up, and you guys are helping. It's extremely unprofessional, gentlemen. But I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm just doing what I know it takes to make
I
what
said
I want to
Alex
happen
who?
to happen.
He's not here, so who knows who that guy is.
Well, sometimes, when you're working the Vanny cam, you got to do what you can.
Yeah, is it really safe for him to take his hands off of the controller and
Well, it is,
type in the
it is
chat?
one of those drones that just kind of flies themselves.
Yes.
So it doesn't
Vanover
really
just
involve
says-
much skill.
Yes.
You guys aren't very
bet.
nice.
Oh, bet.
Bet.
Tell him your
Oh,
Venmo.
we got a bet. We got a bet. We got a bet. We got a bet. That's gonna be Alec Lunsford at gmail.com on Venmo or PayPal.
Oh,
Send it on
cheers to
over.
Mike Chin, the chillest of the chin. Thanks for
I'm
joining
going to
us
need
in the chat,
Venmo
sir.
so I can have random people send me money. That'd be great.
I mean, you can do what you want to do. You
Put
can
up
send me
$1.
money right now too if you want to.
Yeah.
It's not really a bet. We're not doing bets. We're just
Vanover
putting
says
dollars
he's
on
not
tables.
talking trash.
No, we're just putting dollars
We don't
on
like
tables.
He says you like to stir the pot. What? Oh, not us.
Not
Never.
me, guys. I love all things and people and everything. We got another guy saying he'll put $1 on Heads Up. I'm gonna look at my phone, and if you want to put $1 on Heads Up, well, that's gonna go to Shames. Shames, what's your Venmo?
Nope. This is all just for theater. This is not real. None of this is
Not
real.
really happening.
Nope.
In Alex's defense, he didn't say anything other than somebody was going to win, and then it got blown out of proportion because there's 3 guys talking at the same time. So, sorry, Alex.
Just waiting on Vanny's payment to come through Venmo.
Ha 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 ha.
Put a bunch of extra zeros on there.
We're doing what we can. We're just having fun, guys. I mean, it's just Alec Lunsford, AlecLunsford at gmail.com. Easy. It's definitely not at Rodeo Announcer, but you can send him $4 for some Bud Light Oranges. Bud Light Orange, brought to you by Bud Light.
All right. So if you want to know what's going on now, they're working on confirming the finish order of the past few heats. We might be doing some ad reads here. Oh, this will be fun.
Oh, Rainbow Road's back up.
I've always wanted to do an ad read. Let's see. You want to choose one? I'll choose one.
Well, I've never heard of this one here at the top.
I was hoping you would read that one for me, but
That's Team Black Sheep, Serious Toys. That's going to be www.team-blacksheep.com. Crossfire, Tiny Whoop, Nanos, TBS, Mambo, Tracer, Remotes, TBS Tango 2s, anything you need, you can go to www.teamblacksheep.com. Check them out. Trappy's actually really cool. Good guy.
Yep.
Guy. I mean, we're White Goat, we do what we can, but we're not Team Black Sheep, so there you go. Check those guys out.
well, Team Black Sheep has to be one of the longest standing sponsors of MultiGP. So
Absolutely.
definitely thank you for your support of drone racing and doing what you've done to push this hobby forward. Definitely one of the OGs on the scene. One of my favorites, 533. Gear up for the season at fly533.com. They got the 533 Switchback, 6S Lipos, and Flex Fit hats. Get your 533 apparel. Get your Chuchin hoodie. Have you seen those out there?
I've seen those Chuchin hoodies.
Oh,
I want
they're
one of those.
so
That
good.
100% throttle sign up here in the corner.
It's the Beta
Love it.
Flight. It's the Beta
Dude.
Flight font with the 100% throttle. Chuchin hoodie have come in clutch to keep our boys warm here at MultiGP
Absolutely.
Champs.
Hey guys.
If you-
Night Fury's in the chat.
Oh, Night Fury.
Say
Oh.
hi.
Hey, Night Fury. That's
Fury.
long time no see, Night Fury. Why aren't you here? It's
Miss you,
cold.
pal.
Feels
Totally
great.
miss. Sean Taylor Vanover, you need to be there. Vanover needs to be here. Excuse me, Sean Taylor, 2-time MultiGP champion. you need to be here. We
Yep.
miss your face and can't wait till we have the opportunity to see you again. Hope you and the family are well there.
I miss your
And,
face too.
Yep.
Hey, we got another sponsor coming up. I'm going to let Charlie handle this one. Charlie, go ahead and handle this one.
Hobby Wing, makers of fine electronics. You can check us out, hobbywingdirect.com or hobbywing.com. Check out the event specials that are throughout the event. And for any of the racers that are here, if I'm still upright, you guys can make event sale purchases from me on site as well. So check us out, hobbywingdirect.com. We just launched a brand new website this week. So it was from the 80s. Now it's from the 2000s. So we're in there.
You know, I have in the past used a type of firmware that was proprietary, and that company stopped being able to produce hardware again. And one of their lead devs said that if there was one piece of hardware that he thought was better than any others, it was a Hobbywing FC F7. So get that sucker. It's great. It runs. You buy one FC and you can put it on a 20x20 configuration. You can put it on a 30x30 configuration. It's got a plug direct to DJI if that's your thing, and yeah, it's a great piece of hardware. I run Hobbywing gear in every single one of my quads, even my tiny trainers, and I'm honored to have those guys along for the ride here at MultiGP Champs.
This guy's hired. You get my job.
Absolutely.
Aw.
Absolutely. He sells it. Really
Freaking
does.
love it. Lead chill.
We're looking for one of those Coors over here delivered once again, but we're going to look at one more of our sponsors if we can. We got Superior One Roofing, the oldest sponsor of MultiGP out there. Why just get a roof when you can get a superior roof? That's our buddy Chris Thomas's company.
Chris Thomas, is he?
I kind of blew it.
Haven't heard of him.
I don't know. He typically has a horn that he walks around and yells at people with.
And a hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about Velocidrone? Fast-paced FPV drone racing action with multiplayer and offline modes. Velocidrone.com. If you want to get good at drone racing, you need Velocidrone.
Absolutely, the sim I actually use. It's the one it's the only one I can fly that I think feels like what I'm doing out here today.
I raced you last week on Velocidrone. It's
You
great.
did, yeah, actually you did. Yeah, we do a handicap racing. It's the 901 Handy Series. It's great. It's so every pilot actually gets like kind of if you're faster than a pilot, you're gonna get kind of you're gonna start later than the slowest pilot.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. Kind of fun.
Yeah,
It was a good
did
time.
your heart rate get up?
I had a good time racing. It was
So,
great.
Velocidrone, thank you for allowing us to do that because that is actually a really cool feature that makes
Loved it.
fun racing no matter what skill level.
Yeah.
We're still, once again, we're looking for one of those cures being delivered.
Dude, they just brought you one, like before the last race.
Well, it's been a long time, my friend.
That's true.
How impressive has HD0 been at this year's MultiGP Champs? I really appreciate those guys pushing the technology forward and giving us the future of drone racing.
The breakup is what it's about.
I was really surprised at how good it was. I think that most things that get promoted, sponsor guys, hype, all that, but it's been very good. Like those are the feeds I enjoy watching the most.
The
so.
proof is in the pudding there in the top four. Half of the guys running HD0.
Yeah, what did they say? 3 out of the top 5 qualifiers ran the HD0? I think that's what I heard last
No,
week.
it was like 5 of the top 8.
5 of the top 8. It gets
Yeah.
better. It gets better.
So they're just going out and they're power testing the quads, and they're also taking a look on the spectrum analyzer as well, as we had some funky video issues in that last group. Heads Up FPV was complaining about video issues, and we moved him from one channel to another, and he also is having control issues of some sort. But as we saw that engineer, his video feed on our ground station receivers, which were, I think, are on the opposite end of where they were totally washed out. And so video issues there, engineer not flying with the same feed we're seeing, and he had no issues, but we couldn't follow as we saw. There was something tripping. Yeah, that's
Some
what I
shipping
got.
dog.
And so everyone finished their race or crashed out. Well, we only had one pilot finish that last race, so we were now, because we have two DVRs in play, so we had to try and figure things out. And again, we were looking at that feed that didn't exist, so we had to go back and see what happened there. But the results have come in from Chasey Ace round number 3. We know Propsicle got the ace. Engineer pulled up second. Neuchel third. Heads Up FPV 4.
That's a 444 for Heads Up, our reigning champion.
That's a
right?
444.
Oh.
That gives him 12 points. If he wins this next round, we go to sudden death, and we could be good to go.
So, quite frankly, I believe points-wise, Heads Up will either be first place or fourth place in tonight's race.
I agree with that, yes.
He'll either be first or last. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah, it's actually.
Heads Up, he actually just set out to prove what the great Ricky Bobby once said, and that is if you are, in fact, not first, you are last, and the math and science proves it here at MultiGP Championship.
So speaking of math, this is where it really gets freaky. So you said Heads Up FPV, 3 444s, right? Again, he gets the ace, extra innings, and it's sudden death. All the other pilots have a first, a second, and a third. It's a 3-way tie.
Love it.
For the points. We know that the tiebreaker is the motocross rule. The last run race is the most important race. It may be this one, or we may, for the first time ever in the 7 years of the MultiGP Championship, go to sudden death.
I have just switched my allegiance to the way that Sean wants us to run. 5 times. Let's do it. Let's go.
Switched your allegiance just like that.
Well, it's like $1 allegiance. I'm just moving it over to the other side of the table.
But now I'm betting against nobody.
No, Vanny's got $1 on the table.
For those enjoying the live stream here tonight, we're going to be back with you at 9 a.m. EST. We switch from DT to ST, daylight saving times tonight. So for most, that's an extra hour of sleep. But for the rest of us, we're just going to get up early again, come back to the field. But it's 9 a.m. EDT, that's Eastern Daylight Time. We are going to be back with the next 40 Championship 16 and do this all over again. You heard the roster of pilots that we're going to be featuring in that. It's going to be insane. And if you're jacked up, because I know we're all jacked up from this racing right now, we also have the Sport Class Championship just sitting there on the MultiGP YouTube channel waiting for you to watch it and enjoy it and comment on and share as well.
It's good. You'll enjoy it. I was here. It was awesome.
It was. Lots of memories.
Many last lap lead losers.
You didn't do it that time. You didn't do it that time. These events, I tell you, Chris Thomas and I were talking about it, and you know the racing is awesome this year, one of the best years every single day, but it's just hanging out with everyone and all the jokes and all the stories that we share.
Have we heard from Christopher Thomas this evening?
He has been running back and forth trying to run a race.
Yeah. Unlucky.
I always love hearing his voice.
I've been talking to him. Well, you know what? You may hear him right away when we go to the podium presentation, which may be after this race right now.
That's right. Okay.
That's right.
Nice.
Or you may have to wait a little bit until you get to hang out with your buddy, Chris.
I just hope we get him in between them, those 5 races that we're about to do.
It is Chase the Ace round number 4 with 3 aces to chase. Last year's TQ Neuchel, Engineer, the collegiate champion, and Propsicle, the young gun that they've been bragging on for the last 3 years. It could be his moment to come out as your 2021 MultiGP champion. We also have Heads Up FPV, looking for his first ace to push it to extra innings, to sudden death, and his chance to be crowned the first ever Triple Crown 3-time MultiGP champion. A lot is about to happen in the next 90 seconds or less. Good luck, pilots. Arm your quads. Live on the tone, less than 5.
Off and away, 4 potential champions into the sky here. 2021 MultiGP Championship. Propsicle looks to be down with the black screen now. Heads Up Neuchel. And looks like maybe Engineer still in the sky also.
All 3 of them together.
Working their way together through the center section of the track.
Well, Engineer with the lead out of the high side of the tower. Heads Up pulling the lead to the low side. Now Engineer back in.
Some issues.
Look at this. Yeah, it's Engineer and Heads Up FPV here on this opening lap. About to go on to lap number 2. Looks like Heads Up just ahead of Engineer, but not by much. Heads Up looking for his first ace. He leads by 1/10 of a second. On to lap number 2. We lost Neuchel. So right now, Engineer is trying to shut this one down. Remember, Engineer could be the champion if he gets by Heads Up FPV in this moment right here.
Heads Up now
They're
at the
close.
Superior 1 tunnel.
They're rotor to rotor, blade to blade.
Oh, my goodness.
Are we going to extra innings? Survey says
Oh, no!
Heads Up goes down, and
Heads Up
Engineer goes down.
Right side up, but Engineer also with the wreck.
Heads Up FPV
back up and
with the
across the
epic
line.
recovery. It has never been done.
What did I say?
Let's go! Heads Up FPV with an amazing
Wow, wow.
recovery. The copter
don't
was
know what
broken.
to
The camera
say.
was
Literally.
askew. Rainbow Road was on the verge of showing
His
up.
camera literally is busted. There is no lens.
It was all Engineers to lose there. That was amazing.
And was it just the battery that gave up on Engineer? I'm not exactly certain, but thank you, Lundy. Gonna.
That's actually Vanover, and me and
Oh.
you were splitting that.
Oh.
I think it's a start-finish game.
Oh, we're getting a question about a
Is it
hole
con-
shot possible?
Contact before. He think he was. And he's flying digital.
As you can imagine, this is under review,
Yeah.
so nothing official.
Did you guys see what we were seeing here? Because that was wild.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, here it comes in. Wow, wow, wow.
Wow.
That was an incredible finish. I don't even know what to say, man. That shames.
5.
I
Tonight-
mean that. Did he
Dude,
call
much
shames?
excite, super rad, very awesome. Thank you very much. Racers, that's amazing. However this plays out, that was great. You guys are putting on a fantastic show. I don't know how you go so fast. What's wrong with you guys?
Wow.
Like, how do you even see what's happening?
Is this planned? Is this all like?
It seems like a setup, doesn't
Tonight's magic number is 5 and 3.
Ooh. Okay, we got to get out of here. I think.
We
me
get
and
in the
you.
boot with
Yeah,
the
we're getting a
women
boot.
of FPV.
We're getting a boot. Boot.
All right, later.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, look, it's the Bay Area boys.
Here at MultiGP, off is on. We've just learned. in
Team
the, the
EcoForce,
special
who
booth.
rented
So-
the biggest rental car they could possibly find from the Bay Area. Welcome to the show.
We sure have. Yes,
So-
we've come here representing California strongly.
We wanted to talk to Kalara about what is women in MultiGP.
MultiGP is an organization that promotes female pilots to get into drone racing. I've noticed since I've been working with MultiGP for the past 5 years, 6 years, and I've noticed that there's not a lot of women who are in the hobby. And with more women in the world, I figured, hey, we should promote women getting into the hobby.
I mean, they're
and it would
really
just grow drone racing because that's our whole
yeah.
goal, right?
I mean, there really are a lot of women in the world. So
There
what
really
I
are.
want to know is what can, as male
I was
pilots,
just like, hey, if that's a fact, then that'll help grow drone racing. But the thing is, we have to find females who actually really like drone racing. I don't want to force anyone who doesn't like. Someone who has passion for drone racing, like me, or Piefly, or Brew, or so these are girls who like engineering and just they're gamers. They're just I don't know.
and yeah, Piefly is absolutely amazing. She is absolutely killing it. I think, and then she is going to be.
Piefly is out here representing strongly. I mean, we
And-
have a lot of strong.
And
And
what I
here-
want to know is so as male pilots,
You know what I would love
what
right
can
now?
we do
Hold on.
to support you? Can
What
you
I would
tell
love
us?
right now is I would love to Piefly. I would love to speak with Piefly right now. It'd be really a funny coincidence.
Yeah.
If Piefly were
What
to
if she was
strangely
here?
come and sit down. And
But how?
happen
I
to
don't think
be
we'll
on
be
the
able to
couch
find
right-
her.
Oh, what a!
Oh my God,
my
she's
God.
here.
What a weird coincidence. What a strange thing. Piefly, as an amazing pilot, a talented pilot out here, achieving really a high ranking out here in what we consider a global sport. How do you feel, representing? What is your passion? What drives you to be a successful drone racer? What do you like about drone racing? What makes you want to go out, do all the work that it takes to become a successful drone pilot? What drives you?
It's a lot of fun, and I learn so much and meet so many amazing people along the way. That's what really drives me to keep going.
That's amazing.
So it's the community. What you like about it is like the people you get to meet along the way, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's always so helpful, so friendly, and just if you need something, like there's 10 people, like here you go. Like it's amazing, just the community here.
And what would you say? I see some fans in the chat. There's Joel Stewart, yes, Pie Flies, people calling out, let's go women drone racing. What would you say to your fans or young girls or women that want to get into this? How could you like get them really excited to like
just
try
do it? It's the most fun thing you will ever do in your life, and flying is like no other thing you will ever do.
You can do it.
Feel like a bird, right? Is that what it feels like?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Feel just like a bird.
And how did you do this week? Are you done? Are you in the race tomorrow or?
I finished earlier. Didn't do quite as well as I wanted, but it's better than I did last year, so I'm happy with how I finished.
So you're improving.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the trick is to keep
That's what
with
it's all
it, right?
about, is just keep improving, and eventually, if you improve enough, you'll be at the top.
Nice.
Words of wisdom right here from one of the top female pilots in the sport, to be honest. So great to have you here.
Easily top in the world.
When I first saw you, you were already high in the league. So you definitely had like a meteoric rise, I would say. So congrats to you. How do you are you proud of yourself for your performance this weekend?
Yeah, I think I did really well. I've been improving, and it's just crazy to keep flying at this level.
Great. Well,
and how do you feel about this? Like watching this final is insane from my perspective.
This final has been so crazy to watch. Every heat is just something else.
Yeah, these pilots are crazy. So what I want to know is, as other pilots, like what can we do? Like, what do you want? How do you want us to help you grow women in drone racing? Because I want to help, but I don't want to be like, oh, I'm coming out. Here I am. I'm like a man, and I'm gonna like do this. I want to like support what we can do.
I think getting on simulators is a really great start, because that's how I got my start, and I mean that got me here eventually. Just being supportive, helping maybe build a first drone, or getting on the sim.
Yeah, definitely.
Simulators really become like a tool that a lot of pilots nowadays can break their way into the sport. I mean, any talented pilot nowadays has this new avenue to reach their way into the sport. So you're saying that simulator is really the way you broke into the sport?
Oh, absolutely. I flew the sim for months with an Xbox controller before I owned any gear, knew anything about parts or anything. And then eventually I got like a real radio, and I got parts to build a drone. But for so many months, I just Xbox controller, DRL sim.
That is some dedication.
Hey man, yeah.
I mean, speaking of the sim, yeah. So speaking of the sim, I don't know if folks have seen, but Levi every once in a while posts his sim hours, and he posts like 1,000 hours in the sim. But I just want to call out that Vermilion Z, his sister, came to our global qualifier and absolutely crushed it. She was amazing. And what I want to know is how many of his 1,000 hours are actually her crushing the sim, and he's representing as his. She is an amazing pilot. And
so she is, Levi's taking some credit for Vermilion's hours.
I don't want to start any rumors. It's an open question at this point. We're making no speculations, but I do want to just say that she is an amazing pilot. Her gear was like in top condition. She was crushing the track, and so.
Sure.
The female. What you guys can do as chapters is promote females to get into drone racing with your own chapters. We would like chapters all across the world who have MultiGP chapters to go ahead and promote themselves, female pilots, to get in and sign up, and to even create their own MultiGP chapters. Like the Fly Girls, maybe. The Fly Girls chapters from Miami. Just kind of grow it that way, and I think that way it would really grow.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I actually hadn't heard of the Fly Girls, and I know for me, having a group of just people to like connect with was like I wouldn't have gotten into it otherwise. So if there's any other communities like that, or groups of women who are helping each other out.
And just like Piefly
Make
said,
plugs,
our
posts.
community of mostly male-dominated pilots are so helpful, and it's such a welcoming place. And so, yeah, I think it's a great place for female pilots to grow and learn about drone racing.
All right, let's do it. 50-50 next season. Males and females in the finals.
That'd be lovely. Yes.
Okay, we'll get there. Maybe not
Piefly,
next season.
Again, Piefly, it's amazing to have you here representing. I know you've been rubbing it in the face of a bunch of pilots, crushing them, beating them on the leaderboards. It's awesome to have you here. Thank you so much for representing and showing what you can do.
Flight 1 pilot, DRL pilot.
Let's as you come off here, what are your goals? What are you trying to reach for next season? Let's get that before you leave.
Next year, my goal is to qualify top 100 and make it in next 40 again.
Next 40 again. Looking forward to it. Let's look. She's one to track for next year, a hard, determined pilot. Thank you, Piefly, so much for having us here. Thank you very much. Good to have you. Looking forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.
Great. Thank you, Piefly.
It seems like right now we are. Charlie has the mic down. Scully is furiously reviewing these last couple of heats.
Hey, guys, my pro tip is never try to figure out what's going on. Just roll with it, dog. You're good.
So we have some DVR review happening behind the scenes, just for folks wondering how this reset is going. Got some pilots on the lines. Let's hear from the officials.
So we've had some video issues there, and I think we've just started to peel off the layers of the onion, as we always do when you get into these situations. So remember, heads up FPV. Now we got him on 7. Yeah, we got. All right. So I think we have 2 quads that were just having some video transmitter issues, and might be why we weren't able to see the analog feeds, and we had a bunch of interference on the digital feeds. So we have now straightened things out, and we're ready for sudden death. The first ever sudden death round to chase the ace in the history of the MultiGP Championship. That comes to you by way of Neukel, who got the first ace, Engineer, who got the second ace, Propsicle, who got the third ace, and the epic ace that was just flown in by Heads Up FPV.
The 5-stage MultiGP Championship final round about to get underway here as the chasing of the ace continues. Any one of these pilots could be our 2021 MultiGP champion here at the No Quarter Ranch in beautiful Citrus Springs, Florida, at the Brooks property, where we've been joining several days of drone racing. Moments from the start here.
Next race is going to start in 20 seconds or less. All right, pilots. It's sudden death for the MultiGP Championship. The winner of this one heat is our champion. And we have a standby from our production team. Stand by.
All these pilots gridded up here, anxiously waiting the start of this final race. Again, each pilot has one win.
What do we think is going to happen here?
This is a chase the ace final, so one win per pilot. This is the guaranteed last race.
I mean, all of these pilots, they're within a fraction of a second of each other. Is it really anybody's shot at this point?
All these pilots eager to get this race started.
I mean, we've seen each of them perform flawlessly. Each of them have tiny bobbles. Each of them have battery issues on this long, long track.
I mean, each have a win. That means that each of these pilots are definitely in contention. Each pilot has what it takes to take this Nationals here, which means that this race is really anyone's game, John.
Yes, it really is.
Again, 2 of these pilots, I believe Heads Up and Neukel are both running the newest HD system, which means they are getting crystal clear video. Granted, this is a 50-50 split between these HD pilots and the analog pilots being Propsicle Engineer, meaning is it that much of an advantage? We'll find out. I mean, this last race is really deciding
want to unplug these,
whether
Joe.
this
They want to
HD
unplug
is
and
really
switch packs.
you know,
They need all
giving
the
them
runtime.
performance advantage they're looking for.
Are you saying this is a battle of the video systems right now?
This really is a battle of the technology, of the pilots, of the skill. They're all waiting to show off this ability right here.
And
Joe,
I
they're
think what we
changing
see a lot in
packs.
drone
They're
racing
changing
is
packs.
Folks are not typically content just running last year's
Propsicle and
together, always
Engineer. Can we
pushing
get
ahead,
your
always
power
trying to
up
make
real
that.
quick?
Here we see
Propsicle and Engineer.
I mean, that's the risk
quads
you take
coming
as a
off the
pilot.
line. I think
We're gonna allow the pilots to switch packs, but we do need full video to confirm the video feeds as we were changing channels here. Again, not for our benefit, for your benefit. Meanwhile, you've been on the line. You're like, come on, man.
Oh,
I'm
man.
trying to help you out, bro.
I mean, how many people, Scully, have we seen get
There-
to the dive gate at the end and not make it through?
There is
Yeah.
nothing worse.
So
I think
it's nice that you're doing that.
biologically there's something your brain does as you're prepping for these finals where when it's your brain learns when you hear Scully's voice, your adrenaline starts to spike. It starts to build.
I know that feeling.
As the time goes on, you're ready. You're like,
There's that final race prep voice that Scully puts on where he's
man.
like,
it's a 30
"All
second
right,
countdown.
pilots."
Your adrenaline just starts to build. Your heart rate
And
starts
you're
to
like,
spike.
is
and
my-
you're ready.
you're like, what are you thinking? I'm thinking, is my
Oh my
DVR
God.
going?
There's so many
Am
things.
I on the right
and you're just trying to
channel?
qualm the tension, the buildup, and suddenly Scully's like, and we're holding for now. And you're just your heart is just
Pause
like,
the DVR,
go,
change
go.
the batteries.
go, and you're just waiting. You're just like, oh my god, and you just can't control it. And you can really only suppress this adrenal response for so long until your thumbs just start to shake. So honestly, I feel for all these pilots right now as they're sitting on the line, anxious,
And
they're all trying to claim
And
this title.
talking about
Okay,
you're talking about the mental game. You mentioned the mental game here, the nerves. What do you think these pilots are doing to deal with this situation where they're prepping, they're racing,
Oh man,
they're getting an ace, they're getting a
So this-
crash, they're
this
going
is
up
a
again
tough one.
fresh.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Heads up, the reigning champion. A lot of people say everything or nothing to gain, everything to lose, and that's really Heads up's position here. We know he's the reigning champion. He has the 2-peat. Can he get the 3-peat? There's no one in history who's gotten the 3-peat. I believe Sean Taylor is the only other person who's gotten the 2-peat. So Heads up is matching this placement here. Heads up wants the reigning championship. He wants the only person in history. I know that's what
what's
he's
the situation here? I know we saw.
looking for.
I have a fuzzy memory. I have a little memory, but it's fuzzy. I know we've seen Prop and Noik in finals. I feel like this is my first Final Four for Engineer that I've watched.
Prop and Noik have become household names here. Noik, famous for coming up through the simulator, Velocidrone, just pumping through. He's a sim pilot at heart. Transitioned into real life flying, a dedicated racer at his core. Tons of hours in. Propsicle, similar situation. He's just a grinder at his core as well. It takes a lot to catch up to existing skill. Heads up being a pilot who's been in this game for a very long time. Propsicle and Neukel both coming into this scene, years after Heads Up was already a dominant racer, trying to catch up, and successfully catching up, clearly, as we see here, them in the finals here at the 2021 drone, race here. And Engineer, a long time racer. I think he's been in this scene before Heads Up.
A definite foul.
So for him,
we're getting a comment here in the chat. We want to clarify. Engineering chat. So Fat Kid.
Soren,
So
yes,
just to clarify,
you're correct,
Soren,
yes. Soren is
crushed
last year's
championship.
reigning champion. But Heads
Edging
Up,
out.
in fact, has 2 wins.
He edged out Heads Up and Noik in the Final Four, I
He
believe, last
did.
year.
He
Soren
did. But
he
Heads
crushed
Up,
it. He
Heads
took
Up
it.
still has 2 wins.
But before
Soren,
that was Evan, and before that was Evan. So
Correct,
So if
correct.
we're counting recency, Soren is our
Soren
reigning.
is our
He's our
current
defending
reigning
champion, who's
champion.
unfortunately not made it into this final race.
But again, I do want to mention Engineer. Again, he's the kind of person, to be in this scene for so long and want to be grinding for this long, looking for this win. Engineer has really, this is the long road, you would say. He's been climbing the mountain for a long time. Sisyphus, the story of Sisyphus, the old Greek mythology of the man pushing the rock up the hill.
I don't want to say the long con because that sounds negative, but it's like
No,
the long.
not the long
but
con.
it's the long.
It's
there's a commitment.
Well, it was a punishment originally
There's
for Sisyphus to drive the rock up the hill, constantly having it fall down and take the rock back up the hill again. It really feels like what the grind is like here at Nationals. To climb the bracket every year and have yourself get knocked down to the bottom every year to reset. It really does feel like the tale of Sisyphus. But
it looks
Engineer
like we may be getting ready to transition.
These guys with their degrees.
Engineer undiscouraged, not defeated, coming back up, climbing the ladder again, climbing the bracket again. It's impressive.
We see we'll get quads on the line, pilots on the line.
It is sudden death for real this time. We got full video. There you go. All 4 pilots are in the top 6.
Final.
In qualifying, they're all in the top 6. This is now for podium placement, the 2021 MultiGP Championship. It's a one-and-done race. We know we need to finish laps to be the champion here tonight. Pilots, good luck. Last pack of the night. Arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
4 pilots.
False start.
Yes. Oh.
That was called by our flight line director.
I was talking to Matt a little earlier.
That goes towards the guy who got 2 free rides. That one, I don't care. There's no free rides. I don't know what authority we have, but I'm going to override that. That one isn't a warning or another warning. It was
thanks,
close.
Joe. Thanks, Joe.
I definitely got off the S.
Thanks, Joe. I was talking to Matt in the last delay there, and he's like, you guys are trying to push this right to 11 o'clock and make my neighbors really love me this week. It's 10:45 right now?
I got 10:43 here, Charlie.
Yeah. Yes?
We have time. We have time for one. We can do this.
I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. I'm just the announcer. The crowd is asking for a clarification on this is an official false start or a what was the other one? Hole shot. He's on the radio checking. He's still checking. He was about to tell us, and he's checking again. I'm doing play-by-play of the announcer. This is what you guys want, right? A jerk.
So, yeah, the confirmation is, remember, the first 2, I hadn't finished the S of quads. One I was on K, the other one I was on Z. And so he was not charged or assessed a false start the first 2 times that similar situations happened. However, this time I had said quads, and they were hitting the buttons on the scoring computer. He fell off, so he will be charged a false start. What does that mean when we know for sure that this is the last heat of the night? It means he can't do it again, or he's pulling 4th overall. We had a huge mix-up there. That we have at least 2 quads that just can't. They got VTX issues, and I think causing problems for each other. We think we've now swapped everyone's channels around, and it's a little late in the night, and our production team trying to line up the feeds and the overlays, and when everything's in pit mode, a little more difficult. But now everything is right, and we're about set to go in this, and I like the representation of women in MultiGP. What a great way to end 2021 and bring in 2022. Meanwhile, Inferior represented the brand. That was nice. Asking some great questions about the program. Do you know we have another program, too, that we want to talk about before the night's done, and that's the MultiGP STEM Alliance. Drones in School, the Collegiate Drone Racing Association, and MultiGP are proud to announce the formation of the STEM Alliance. And through that, we support science, technology, engineering, and math, and work with a number of organizations, including Drones in School, which is a premier nonprofit drone education organization in the U.S. with over 50 schools already participating, in addition to our partnership with the Collegiate Drone Racing Association. Now, part of that MultiGP STEM Alliance, we have a STEM Alliance Racer, a full build kit that we sell to schools, and it's also available on the MultiGP website at multigp.com/shop to go to the MultiGP store. And you can find out some more information on the MultiGP STEM Alliance at multigp.com/STEM Alliance for more info.
That's great to get college racing. I think, Corey, you did a college race a while back, but
Yeah.
I
actually got into drone racing through my time as an engineer. So I honestly think it was a great bridging of my background as an engineer. It made me interested in drones. And actually, I finished my undergraduate as an engineer.
Corey, you're an engineer. What kind of train do you drive?
Oh, I drive a wonderful train. They refer to it as a Hummer here.
I think it's an H2 though.
Yeah,
it's a little one.
It's a wonderful train. It consumes a lot of gas, but I do back home care about the environment.
So what I want to know about the STEM program is there going to be a connection? Is there going to be a tie-in with existing chapters? I mean, we have chapters all over the country. Is there something that as chapter organizers we're going to be able to do as pilots watching this? What can they do to sort of get involved and participate in this?
Well, there's a whole program. It started with drones in school. We also have the partnership with the Collegiate Drone Racing Association. But the plan is to create a turnkey package to roll out to our chapters.
Wonderful.
To bring it out to the masses. That should be on the queue for 2022.
Fantastic.
Sounds great.
That's actually what encouraged me to go back to school was my passion for drone racing. I was excited in everything that goes on in the flight controllers, the PID controllers, all that stuff that made me want to go back to school, learn more about it, get to pursue my passion. And, I really credit drone racing for,
Drone racing is life, Miwo.
It really
You're
is
one of the
life.
greats.
Thank you very much, Joe.
There's
Back to
on the
you.
screen the final four to compete in the first ever sudden death. They say they're ready to start for real this time. Good luck, pilots. This next race is for the 2021 MultiGP Championship. Good luck, pilots. Arm your quads. Live on the tone in less than 5.
All right, this time we are off for real as they work their way around the start-finish section through the first area. Neukel Engineer look like they're going for the rough ride. Propsicle and heads up still in the air. Engineer on Neukel.
And they're side by side, heads up in Propsicle, so we may have lost Neukel and Engineer. It may come down to a review, but we're going to still finish strong here with these two in the air. And right now it's heads up just ahead of Propsicle, Charlie.
We may have lost Charlie here.
I think I lost him. I think, how about this? 0.4 of a second after lap 1 done. And Propsicle pulls just ahead of Heads Up FPV. You can see it, Heads Up FPV, not in a similar position that he's been in before. Now trying to chase down Propsicle. The young gun trying to take away that three-peat away from Heads Up FPV. We're over on the Superior 1 tunnel. Back and through we go. Looks like Heads Up FPV may have redeemed himself here. It looks like Heads Up FPV with a 1-gate lead. And for the first time ever, we have a 3-time champion. It's Heads Up FPV.
Propsicle made a little bobble in the closing stages of that last lap. Heads Up was able to sneak by and hold on to it. He is in tears on the flight line, it looks like. Congratulations to Heads Up FPV, your 2021 MultiGP champion. Make some noise.
This crowd is losing their mind out there, Miwo. They are absolutely flabbergasted.
Unbelievable. These pilots are witnessing something that has never happened before in drone racing, which is a 3-win.
I think it's the hat trick.
The hat trick.
It's what we've been waiting for.
This is Heads Up FPV's destiny. I mean, he's been looking for this triple-peat 3-win. The triple crown. Heads Up FPV, his loyal fan base coming to his fucking aid here. I mean, Heads Up FPV really is one of the greats. He's been in this scene for a long time. I would say his first breakthrough moment was in Sebring, back when he double false started, got a 1-lap penalty, and then almost won the race on a 1-lap penalty. That was everybody learned what Heads Up FPV has.
I mean, talking about
to display.
Talk about growing from who is this guy, who's this insane pilot, to a force to be reckoned with. That people, the household name, launching the 5.33. I mean, that was coming back from a lap behind, and we saw him. And this is he does this time and time again. I don't know how many folks here tuned in to IO, but in IO, Evan had a similar situation. He was an ace behind.
Yeah.
He was chasing.
Clutch.
He got his ace late in the finals.
Very clutch.
And then just nerves of steel, focus, dedication. He just crushed the last race.
field
And we
just
just saw him do it
gets
again.
tighter.
He's better under pressure.
It's almost becoming a system that he does, where he's like, he's kind of like start off, get the pilots nervous.
He lulls the pilots into a false sense of security, and then he shows what he's got. I mean, he came in with his first heat win in the 4th race. With all the pressure on him, he won the 4th race and then doubled it up, icing the kicker.
I mean,
all the delays,
4 and 5.
Heads Up
That's right.
FPV performed when it counted. It meant the most, and Heads Up FPV came out here, showed what he has, showed that he deserves to be the 3-time MultiGP champion.
Hobby Wing Stack.
It's insane. I mean,
Just saying, Hobby Wing Stack. Just saying.
Hobby Wing Stack.
Hobby Wing Stack. I'm
Front
just
of the-
saying.
and we talked earlier about the battle of the tech. Hobby Wing Stack. We talked about the battle of video, analog versus digital, and the
Absolutely.
chat is blowing up right now. HDZ.
Heads Up
HD0
FPV, I
for the
think,
win.
is the epitome of you fly what you got. Heads Up FPV could be out there flying, ready to fly. He's the kind of pilot who doesn't let his gear get into his head.
He could.
It's something he ignores.
I feel like, do you feel like, I mean, this is HD's moment. People have like kind of toyed with HD. They put it in some quads, but this is the first time we've seen HD video.
We did.
Win a championship of this scale, of this caliber. I mean, he won. He's flying HD
that an
video.
HD pilot. I mean,
And he
this
crushed.
is the first time an HD pilot was allowed to compete in nationals.
Hey,
DJI
fellas,
has been a
I got another first for you.
representative
been-
of HD FPV for a very long time. A wonderful FPV system in HD, but this is the first time that an FPV system has cooperated with the standards of drone
I
racing.
mean, what are some of the challenges? It's hard to pick up the video on the start finish gate. It's hard to build for.
Correct.
And they're innovating every year. It's getting a little lighter.
Correct.
And so,
But I mean, FPV. I mean, whether or not that's the credit that goes to Heads Up FPV's win, he
won with that. Either way.
championed
Either way.
this bracket. He won. He fought his way through. He lost no match leading up to the finals here. He qualified top 8, flew insanely well, and came back from a 3-heat loss. It's easy to be discouraged after 3 lost heats, but somehow he found his way into winning twice in a row after
That's right.
3 lost
That's
heats.
right.
That takes some mentality. Captain Vanover.
A little bit of chat here, going back and forth, trolling. Captain Vanover's so mad. Captain Vanover chiming in, I'm not mad. I mean, Vanover's a champ in his own right. I mean, he's crushed.
I mean, Captain Vanover
leagues.
is again one of the greatest of the drone racing scene. He's been the constant battler. 2 heads
and look
up.
at him calling out. I'm happy for him. 3-time MGP out. What a title.
It's good
I mean,
to see that.
is some class, some
Definitely.
showing some.
I mean,
Sportsmanship.
Vanover knows Heads Up is a world class pilot as he is himself.
Mike
It's
Mike
good
Chen
to see
tuning in
that.
a little late. Maybe did he win? Yes, he won.
I mean, congrats to Heads Up FPV. Would have loved to see Vanover here. I'm sure he would have loved to witness this championship himself in first person. But, that being said, again, congrats to Heads Up. Congrats to Heads Up for winning this over some amazing pilots. Again, let's mention that Heads Up has been doing amazingly in the Drone Racing League. This isn't his only priority here. Heads Up FPV, again, a master of all. Not just a jack of all trades, but a master of all. Winning currently here the 5-inch, open class race whilst competing.
Really the World Championship. The champion of
the World Championship. I mean, we
Did he
have,
get to
we have
football spike his
pilots
drone?
from all over. We have pilots from Puerto Rico. We have pilots competing,
Champ.
it's just really a broad spectrum of talent here, and Heads Up FPV conquering them all.
And we have to give a shout out. I mean, these other pilots crushed in this final, like Propsicle, Engineer, Neukel.
Yes.
I mean, Neukel was, to
give
see him
credit,
come
yes.
so close last year and
Absolutely.
to come so close this year. I can only think that this is going to really push all 3 of these pilots
Yes.
to get back and think, what can I
Absolutely.
do? How can I train? Like, what do we think?
Absolutely.
What do we think they're going to do? What do we think you're going to do?
I mean,
next year to push.
I mean,
and keep
Evan
keep
is
growing
Evan
the
is
sport,
always
keep
one of the
growing.
ones to chase. He pioneers a lot of the technology that's going on here. It's going to be curious to see whether Evan is if people follow in his footsteps and take the HD FPV feed as a performance advantage, or if they just credit to the fact that Evan is, one of the most talented. We'll see. I mean, there were 2 of these 4 pilots in the finals here that were running analog video, and 2 of them did extremely well. So it's hard to say whether, Evan had that performance advantage from the HD video or not.
And honestly, that's something I like. That keeps bringing me back. Something I like to see is what are people going to run next year? What are the builds going to be?
Agreed.
Is everyone going to go HD because the video's amazing? Are people going to? Is there going to be a
pioneering
mix?
the technology. So we'll see what happens next year.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Dude. Only time will tell. What we see. People are following heads of footsteps. I mean, we've seen it before. I think every person in the finals here was the heads-up motors. We saw a lot of pilots.
My gosh, I've never seen so many of the same frame. If we took a poll, how many 533 frames?
When a pilot is
90%?
so successful, there's no reason to not try to duplicate what he's running. I mean,
at that point, it's
hard to
not
say.
holding him back. Clearly,
it's hard to say.
So
I agree. I agree fully.
Clear
it's clear
that it's a safe bet.
He's shown that he chooses ahead of time.
The frame.
Granted,
the motors, the props.
There's a lot to be said. Again, like I say, he could be piloting a ready-to-fly out there. He would be doing insanely well regardless. But again, all 4 pilots were in contention here. We had 4 wins in this Chase the Ace finals.
I think
that is an impressive thing to see. That all that says is that drone racing is getting closer than ever. We are seeing closer and closer racing than ever. The margin is shrinking.
That's right.
Every year the margin is shrinking.
Toxic
so
FPV saying the HD 0 switchback is about to be the biggest thing in racing. So we'll see if he said it
he
first.
may or may not be right.
We'll take a look next year.
He may or may not be right.
If it's true, he's going to be able to tell everybody, I told you.
Very impressive.
I told you. He can scroll back to the chat. He can come back to this video and say, this is where it happened. He's going to say, I was there. I was in the chat. Scully is here. We have a question. In the production room here, we're hearing a little bit of investigation, reviewing. So let's hear from Scully. What's going on?
Well, so we know who won and what an epic win that was, but our podium is pretty much in a weird situation that it's pretty much a motocross rule here for the final final run. So because just of the positions that they finished up, we don't know who second and third is until we verify who got third and fourth in that heat. Because if it's Neukel, then I think that gives him third. That moves Engineer out. But if it's Engineer, that would put Engineer second overall. It's
so
really
these points
close.
are too close to call right now.
Yeah.
They're. I heard earlier they were frame by frame.
And they're separated right now with the unofficial result. They're all separated by 1 point. So
and the point system, just to remind me, I believe if you finish for each, like second is 2 points, third is 3 points, fourth is 4 points, and it's a kind of golf, right? You want the lowest.
That's right. So yeah, and then the tiebreaker, because just on who gets what, that really opens up the tiebreaker, and then that's the last run race.
So the last run is how we
is
break
the
tie
tiebreaker,
here.
And so yeah.
So this race is not just the most important for Evan, but every pilot here is trying to get that podium. That 1-2. I mean, we've talked a lot about Evan, but that second reserve champion, that third place podium, those are huge pilots.
So
we had hundreds and hundreds of people compete to get here.
We're down
and then
to
hundreds
the
of people
wire.
here to get to the finals.
We're
and
down
we're talking
to the
about the best
wire.
3 pilots in the world.
As usual, we're down to the wire. And again, I mean, this is an important race. I mean, second to third, that's still a lot on the line. I mean, second to third is a very big difference. I mean, this means a lot to these pilots who pour hours and hours of practice into this qualifying. So, I mean, for a pilot to get second versus third, I mean, it really means a lot to them for their future in the sport, for their sponsors, for their confidence going into the next race that they find. I mean, second place at nationals, you know, really just what that means to them is a big deal. So there's a lot of importance, and there's a lot riding on the line here as the judges go to decide on, you know, what the actual final standings are. So it's a lot of tension here as we're waiting to see what the results are.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. And again, you know, these finals, I mean, this really came down to the line. I mean, these pilots were all on top of each other.
We put a lot of emphasis on being first because obviously, if you're not first, you're last.
Of course.
But for all these pilots, I mean, they have goals and they have histories, right? Like,
Yeah.
some
absolutely.
people are trying to get the podium. Some people are trying to make it into finals. Some people are trying to get top 16. And so all the pilots I've met here, I've met a ton of people who are like, they climbed a huge amount. They were 80th, and this year they're 40th, and they're super psyched, and they're just going to keep pushing and getting better.
Absolutely. I think that's definitely, the mark of a great pilot is how you take a loss. If you take a loss
and how do you define a loss? Like, what are your goals? Like, what trajectory are you on?
Of course, yeah.
It's not realistic for me as like a bottom 40 pilot to be like, if I don't win next year, I'm done with drone racing. Like, it's not going to end well.
Yeah. So as a pilot, I think if a loss is discouraging to you as opposed to a driving factor or encouraging for your practice, if it's just discouraging, then this sport's going to be hard for you. There's a lot of harsh losses. There's a lot of times where you lose when, frankly, you put all the effort in, you put the practice in, and you still didn't get the result you want. And that just happens. That's drone racing. That's just how it goes.
I mean,
and if that's the kind of thing that discourages you, drone racing is definitely a battle of tenacity. If a loss is something that drives you and makes you practice harder and work harder, drone racing is the sport for you.
And you see that from, all these four pilots, they're veterans. They've been in championship after championship.
These pilots are not freshies. They're not rookies.
So
these pilots have been grinding for this win for years. And a lot of these pilots were so close to victory. They were so close. And if this is the end of the road for them, I think they're cutting it short. I think if these pilots give up now, these pilots were so close to tasting victory. And I feel like none of them should be discouraged. None of them should be discouraged.
Within your grasp.
It's within their grasp, and I think if they keep
the
up...
pilots I'm most impressed are so motivated by that feeling.
Correct.
And you see this,
Absolutely.
and over the years, you've been in it longer than me. I think 2015. I didn't start till 2016, so I'm kind of a baby. As a 2015 pilot, I assume you've met a lot of people and seen them.
I've been around, yeah.
Burn out.
Yep, absolutely.
Go down, go up, every direction from these kinds of competitions and this heat and this pressure.
I think we forget sometimes that Heads Up was actually his first nationals was, I believe, 2016. Was it either 2016 or 2017? Was his first nationals.
Yeah, he doesn't just roll in here and three wins.
He wasn't a household name until Sebring, and even then he was a small cult name. These pilots have been in it for a long time. To say that he just came out of nowhere and just straight up just won, with no effort is to lie or to undermine the effort that went into Heads Up becoming the great pilot that he is.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
We really do have to acknowledge the long road that all of these pilots have gone through to get to where they are. So if you're a pilot out here and you've been in it for a year, 2 years, and you have high expectations, just realize that a lot of these pilots didn't even get to make these top 40, this top bracket, until they've been in the scene for a very long time. So it really is a race of attrition. That the sport is really about taking the losses and taking them in stride and pushing further and trying to improve yourself.
That's right.
Learn from every loss. It's really important.
Yeah. So just a reminder of what's happening behind the scenes. We're reviewing DVR. We're checking places, adding points, doing math, trying to determine with absolute accuracy so that when these positions are announced,
correct,
we know exactly who is in which positions.
We're trying to settle the very important battle of second versus third, which is a big difference. A lot of these pilots have a lot riding on this win, second versus third, and it really is a big deal here at Nationals.
A couple shout outs to Grower and Shames in the chat to return to the couch. I'm happy to give up the couch. I'm happy to keep talking.
Absolutely.
If there's something else that folks in the chat want to know what's happening, we just heard official word from Scully. Podium is coming up. Let's talk about Grower for a second. You want to talk about dedication and motivation?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about track design. We've talked about piloting.
Grower
has been designing tracks for
single-handedly, Adam Grower has been, contributing well beyond his means to the community, to the sport.
What do you think about the track?
Grower, amazing track that he created here. A favorite from both the sport class and the pro class. It's
I
very
haven't
impressive.
heard one bad word about this track.
Very
From every
impressive
pilot.
to
I've
have
never
a
seen that.
to have a track that is both adored by both the
Grower
pro
killed it
and
on
the
this
sport
track.
class. Amazing. Grower has been, making amazing tracks in simulators for a very long
You know the
time.
other thing that this is the first time I've heard?
Hmm.
Velocidrone, the official sponsor of MultiGP, the official sim, this is the first time I've heard people say, it's like a V-drone track in real life.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a huge compliment because
for
you
sure.
do moves that you can't do when you go out into a field and set up 5x5s.
This
You're
really-
going up
yeah.
through a gate, twisting around, coming through the
I
side.
think one of the
So
biggest
Grower killed it.
one of the biggest testaments to how amazing this course is a lot of people, even through qualifying where we're supposed to be pushing super hard, people were coming out of this like, I didn't break a single quad. It's one of those ones where you even when you feel like you're pushing, you're barely breaking quads. It's one of those courses where it's just
Oh, yeah, it's a
enjoyable
fun
to
track.
fly. There's so much room
It
to
was super
grow,
fun.
and yet you don't destroy your gear doing it. So
Grower
it
is
was
the GOAT. Grower is literally the
absolutely.
GOAT.
And
He's goated.
Grower
track
is one of
design.
those names that everyone adores.
I've probably flown
Anyone
100
deep in the
Grower
community.
tracks.
Absolutely.
Colby's VRL races,
As
week
as
after
a-
week. Go on the sim and search Grower.
As
and
a
just
pilot,
fly his tracks. They're
as
insane.
a pilot who has known Grower for a long time and has flown many of his tracks, when I came here and flew this course, it just felt like it made sense. I just knew where to turn. I knew exactly what was
those
going to happen.
tracks, right, where
It's-
you're
you
like,
just learn to know that
you're
it's like
like
their personality is represented in the course, and I just knew exactly what was going to happen. I knew Grower. I knew the course.
You get those tracks where you're like, this turn shouldn't be after this turn. That gate shouldn't be there. And there's not a moment of that in this track.
Grower is a great representation of what pilots want. He knows what pilots want because he himself, he's a world-class pilot. He's a pro pilot. He knows exactly how pilots like to fly, and he knows how to create a course that is going to make pilots happy.
Neil is nice. And, I mean, Neil was a meme before I knew who he was, before I knew what he was doing and contributing to the scene. He was already a legend. And so just to keep seeing, I mean, I love seeing him continue to rise, participate, build the track, come and talk on the stream. I mean, you meet these pilots.
Wonderful.
There's all these people
Yep.
in the scene.
Yep.
And it's awesome to see them, grow in ways. I mean, not just piloting, though I don't want to downplay Grower's piloting because he flew 232s in qualifying. Hello?
He's one of the,
I mean, 29s and 28s in finals. Like, he's a second or two off. So he's making the track, and he's, insane.
Absolutely. Yeah. Amazing pilot. Again, shout-outs to Grower for creating such an amazing course. Shout-outs to all the crew here who performed so well. Chris Thomas here joining us.
Christopher
one of
Thomas
the hardest
in the
workers
house.
here in FPV. Despite not being a pilot himself, I think he outperforms a lot of the pilots in terms of the effort
I think that's fake
that
news.
he puts in.
I
No.
heard a rumor today from Mr. Provo. He asked me a question. He said
Chris Thomas' his top time in this course was 27
He said,
seconds.
have you ever seen Chris Thomas fly a quad? And I said, no, why? And he said, he has the most unique grip style. He uses all four fingers on this. Is that true? I want to confirm or deny this.
Yeah, it's actually a lobster claw method. It's unique, but it's just what's comfortable.
The lobster claw. And actually, speaking of claw grips, I think we have the two most unique grip styles. We have, I was calling...
I do have a crab grip. I'm elbows
tip
out.
Grip.
I'm elbows out.
Oh, crab versus... Who do you think would win in a crab versus lobster fight, Chris?
You mean if we fought an actual crab and an actual lobster? A lobster
Yeah, I'm
all
pivoting.
day. All day.
I feel like the crab is more agile, so I don't know. I think I might argue against that. The lobster has the power. I'm not going to deny you on that. But the crab is the versatility. So I think there's something to be said. I think the battle needs to be simulated for it to be properly evaluated.
It, well,
That's
you know what it might depend is water battle versus land battle. Because the lobster, I feel like with the
I feel like a
on
crab
the
is
land,
in the
crab's
water.
got it.
Oh, the
I'll give
crab's
it to
got
the
it.
crab on the land.
Crab on land.
Crabs are like startlingly fast.
Yeah, but I mean the tail alone just makes the lobster way better.
That's actually true. He has more versatility in the water.
That's right.
He's a higher top speed.
He is a very versatile animal.
Hey, so
Regardless,
let me ask you guys. So we just witnessed the first ever situation where every single pilot got the ace.
It blew my mind. I've never seen that. Blew my
it was
mind.
amazing.
And, I was worried when this was happening because the track is so long and the batteries begin to sag out at the end. What I was worried about is we were going to see the final race end where everyone ran out of battery and no one got across the finish line.
So what would you do?
I had the same thought.
I actually tried as if I were arguing in court. I called one of the guys who was reviewing the rule book, and I said, listen, I want to make a case for a rerun in that scenario.
Yeah.
Because that would be terrible. But unfortunately, the rules are pretty clear right now for 2021 that they would still have won. I am going to propose for 2022 that we make a change because you don't want to end
So you feel like
a battle that way.
So you feel
Of
like
course not.
for a pilot to win and be the champion, they need to go all the way through start finish. They need to finish the race, finish gate.
I mean, you saw the energy here
Of
for
course.
this race, and we don't want to have that sort of anticlimactic end to one of these.
Yeah.
Who wants to win because Rule 17.6 subsection B states that you won?
A subsection B
No.
race, that just doesn't count for anything.
Not
Everyone
exci-
knows
it's not
subsection B
exciting.
race win.
So I'm cracking up because I'm so distracted
worth
by
it.
Tiger's
Not worth
comment
it.
about
Exactly.
crabs digging holes and being ninjas.
Absolutely not.
So
I agree. Absolutely. I think that it's really a testament to how much drone racing has progressed to where we have a final where, 4 pilots had a win. I mean, it just shows how close drone racing is, how much we're pushing, the technology and the performance of these drones. We're all these pilots are barely finishing these races, which means that the drones that they selected and how much they're pushing them is barely finishing, which means they selected them as perfectly and they're flying them
Yeah, you have to
as
di- you have to
perfectly
dial in
as
everything.
possible. They're getting every inch out of this device that they put up. They're getting
I mean, we see
every
people
inch out of it as possible.
Taking off battery pads, using
I mean,
lighter
these guys are
straps,
shaving off as much weight as they can,
shortening
I mean,
lipo leads, anything you can do.
So close. And I love to see it because it just means that the racing is just amazing.
We have we have a request here from Tim. Maybe we can get a ride, or maybe we can go. I want to see the podium.
I want to see
Yeah.
the podium.
But he does have to race in the morning. Top 16 of the next 40
Oh,
are
nice.
our ride.
Yeah, there's more racing to be had.
you might get stuck here.
We might.
There's a lot of
What
cars
is
here, though.
You can find a nice little area, make a nest, just take some of the vinyl off the course.
I think I'm going to sleep on this couch, actually.
As a
You wouldn't be
Floridian,
the
can
first
you confirm or deny if Uber or Lyft exist here?
Oh, we have it. But I can tell you, if you've ever heard on the news about Florida Man, they
The
do
Florida Man.
They do
I've
have
heard about
jobs.
Florida Man.
He's
and
done a
some
wild
of them
amount
work at
things.
Uber. So you might end up on a strange adventure.
I don't think I want to get serial murdered
Yeah.
at the drone race.
No, that usually doesn't happen.
Usually.
But you might end up with a felony.
Famous words.
Maybe, maybe not. It's a risk.
Regardless,
That
we're
I'm willing
watching
to
our
take.
pilots right now. Neuchel heads up. Lining up. Again, these pilots put on a fantastic show.
Does this mean the math is in? Is Scully getting ready to announce this? Or
We're still waiting on the official announcement from Scully on what the standing podiums is. Again, heads up your third. 3 full wins from heads up. That's amazing.
The three-peat,
He's
the hat
beaten
trick.
200 pilots
The triple
again
win.
in bracket 3 times now. Heads up, a fantastic win for him. Again, last year, Soren took the win. Fat Kid FPV took the win over Soren, but despite that, Heads Up was, I believe, 3rd place last time. Still coming back strong, not being discouraged, taking the 3rd win here as a historic 3-peat. Very impressive.
that's right.
Again, I think we may go out and join in the festivities to cheer on these pilots as they stand on the podium. We may leave the couch here as we go out to try to cheer on Heads Up, congratulate him for his win. We may leave you guys here as we go and contribute in that celebration here outside.
Well, thank
in
you for
Florida.
having us. Thank you for letting us, Chris Thomas, represent women
Thanks
in
again.
MultiGP.
Thanks again.
It was exciting to see the race. Exciting to talk about the race.
Absolutely.
It's always great to see you guys at the races. You've been to a lot of
course.
the events.
We have.
Love seeing you
We
guys
have.
there. Always see you representing California. See you representing at the Florida
California.
Nova race.
Thanks, Chris.
I think
Thanks again, Chris.
you've won that once and almost
Once
twice.
I won it once virtually, but I don't know if we count that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't-
No.
Again,
Well, we've got some news coming in. Sorry, I was a little distracted from your conversation.
news.
We actually have a position that is too close to call. Yes.
What does that mean?
It's not first.
What does that mean?
I think we're going to have a race-off.
A race-off.
There will be more.
A race-off. Tim, you have to wait. There's a race-off.
Are you serious right now?
Is this
pushing
real?
for the
Chris,
race-off.
are you joshing me, Chris?
I'm serious.
You are making my day right now because we were talking about race-offs earlier, and I was literally saying that I'm going to start joining all the Tier 1 chapter calls because I want to break every decision with the race-off because a 1v1 battle is
It's great.
almost the most fun thing to watch.
So listen to this. Neuchel versus Engineer. It's too close. They literally have been reviewing the videos over and over and over.
And it was that close.
They can't determine it. So
That's
it
historic.
It says in the rule book if two pilots
Historic.
crash at the same gate, it's a race-off.
Race-off. I mean, that's
all right, Chris.
I don't want to stay. I don't want to get stuck in the stream. You guys should stay in here in the stream and keep talking.
All I heard was
so I can go
race-off.
Race-off.
I mean, we can watch it from here. I mean,
I'm
at some
excited.
point, it's faster
I'm
to just
excited.
have them battle than to keep going through the DVR.
Let's just get it going.
I actually,
what are we about to celebrate, or are we about to have a race off?
I actually think of it.
I want to see more racing. Everybody wants to see more racing.
Can I just make a pitch for the why I think the race-off is the best thing in drone racing? It's a
Go
triple.
for it.
It's a win-win-win. The audience gets to see another race,
right?
And it's a 1v1 battle that you can follow, and
Yep.
it's intense.
Yep.
The pilots get to fly another pack. Who doesn't want to fly another pack? And it's faster than reviewing the DVR for the next 2 hours.
That was 5 things. I'm pretty sure that was a win-win-win.
You also need to add
win-win-win-win.
that it is that is how we've always handled things at MultiGP.
6 things.
But it requires that you do the prop ceremony.
What's the prop ceremony?
If you lose, you take off your propellers.
Oh, yeah.
You bring those propellers as an offering to the pilot who defeated you. And you bow. You cower before that pilot and present them their offering, hoping that they will accept it. That's how you do a real
hoping.
Let's see this. Let's see this go down.
I can't wait.
But I see some celebrating going out there. I mean, because
the longer
one
we
of the
sit here,
positions,
the more
one of the
pilots will get
positions is
sponsored
in.
by 533.
Honestly, I
think
think
they
if
just
we
add
sat
them
here
the more
long
we sat
enough,
here.
we would slowly have all.
Let's see if we
all
can name all the
100
pilots going from left to right. We got Potato, who's just come insane progress in the last year.
Levi, I can't
Levi
even
in the
see
front.
his face. He's behind. We have
we got
Shames,
Propsicle.
We got Soren.
We got Shames in the front.
Evan's girlfriend.
Evan.
Heads of FPV.
Oh, we got Formula also climbing
Mondo.
huge amounts in last year.
Cal.
Fiddy Mondo.
Fiddy.
I mean, these are some. This is a team. I mean, if these guys go to mayhem, this group of people right here, you should be scared. Any other team should be terrified.
That 5-3 never forms a team racer team because it will be the most undefeated team that has ever existed in drone racing.
I mean, that's a terrifying. I don't want to. I don't want to race
never
them.
want
I mean, I
them.
do want to race them because I like to fly.
I want to race them, but I would. I know it's just so crushing. I mean, that's like facing an empire. It's an empire, granted.
It's an empire.
I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, a dynasty.
But an empire built
a dynasty, even.
built from the ground up by Heads Up himself. So again, props to Heads Up for building such an empire.
And all these 5-3 pilots there to celebrate with Evan having just crushed it. I mean, he's sort of like he's like their champion. He's there representing 5-3. They're all part of the team. In some ways, they're all winners, being part of the 5-3 team.
Absolutely.
And that position is determined. So, props to them for celebrating and taking that victory.
For sure.
I feel a little bit of the pressure for these other 3 pilots that need to see this race-off shake out and understand where this DVR review comes in.
I'm just excited
and who's
to see
going to
more
race
racing.
and who's second, who's racing. And the final word back here. Sounds like the race-off is likely going through. A little coordination on the back end here. Engineer coming in to the production booth to chat directly to Mr. Scully to make sure he understands all the details of race-off. It's important that pilots understand the format because they need to, they need to know what they're doing.
Strategy is based on, what the format of the race is. I mean, it's very important.
So getting that clarity is understandably very important for Mr. Engineer coming in here to do that race-off. We get a little shot. So on the live stream, we know there's a race-off, but it's It's news. It's going to be news for these folks out there. They're about to go out there and announce that a race
be
is coming.
exciting
So
results.
you're about to see.
Watch their
Keep an eye on
faces.
this crowd right
Watch
here because
their
they're
faces.
about to lose their minds. A little shout out for Miwo from Sean Taylor. Hello.
What up,
Sean
Sean Taylor?
Would have loved to see you.
A
at
long
this event.
time reigning champion, Sean Taylor. One of the originals.
talk about dedication.
One of the heroes that inspired a lot of us. Sean Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
Night Fury with some legendary videos.
First success pack I ever saw was Sean
Probably
Taylor
one
on
of the
Facebook.
first pilots to be accused of speeding up his
Yeah,
footage,
I
which
think he-
again
I
is
think-
the biggest compliment in FPV. If somebody accuses you of speeding up your footage, you know you've.
We were
you
on
know you're
4S
You know
in
you're
California, and we're seeing these 6S videos coming from Sean Taylor
Oh,
in
yeah.
Albuquerque, and they didn't look real.
It looked broken.
We're like, something is off.
Honestly,
the DVR's dropping
I could have
frames.
sworn he was a cheater for the longest time. I was like,
He's
this dude,
cheating,
This is
but it just turned
this is
out
BS.
he
This
was
is BS.
insane.
He's too fast. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But again, that was inspiring. Watching him, set the pace for everybody else. It gave you a mark to chase. It really did. It really did. So props to Sean Taylor for starting off such an amazing an amazing community, because it's really grown a lot since then. So I'm waiting to see
Absolutely.
all these pilots' faces as they realize that in fact they can't just start hanging out and chilling. There's a lot more. There's some more racing to be had.
Absolutely.
There's some more going on. We got.
I if I had to
a
guess, I would
race
feel
off.
like they haven't. My guess would be that they haven't announced the race off yet, because I haven't seen anybody lose their mind.
Oh no,
Because I think it's going to be obvious.
patiently waiting for
feel
some
like-
jaws to drop.
I feel like you're gonna see
There will be
physical
a race
reactions here.
Correct, Thomas. There will be a race off that determines the placements here.
Another 533 insane pilot, Jake, who I don't think we saw him in the picture, but you can see him in here now.
Correct.
Hyper, I believe not wearing the 533 jersey, but obviously an insane pilot.
Yes,
Hyper with the
Hyper
glasses here,
actually
the gray
wearing the newest Chuchin 533 jersey, or sweatshirt rather, representing
Chuchin.
Chiefs' newest slogan. Chuchin, as you can
What does
point
a
out
Chief
here, 100% throttle is clearly indicated on Hyper's left shoulder, representing what Chuchin means, which is
So this is a Chief thing, and if you don't know who
Oh,
Chief thing is in
it's-
the stream,
it's
I'm not going to explain it to you,
representing
'cause everybody knows who Chief is.
never lifting, full throttle, wide open throttle, pedal to the metal.
Also known as
Many
throttle
more colloquial
on
terms
a switch.
for, letting it eat. As Chief would say, let her eat.
That's right. That's Chuchin.
Absolutely.
4-lap race. We're going to do 4 laps here on a track where pilots can't do 2. So we're going to need a battery change. We're going to need
This will be a
volunteers
pit
from the
stop
stream
race.
for pit stops and battery switches. We've just invented a new format for the race-off.
We have a lot going on here. The points
we hear math in
for
the
this
background here.
system require that we race a lot of the pilots, which means it's not just a direct heads-up race.
We hear math.
There's a lot riding on this this last race here. This is going to be a
this radar
2
is
to 4
complicated
race.
I-
These
I-
pilots could drop up to. These pilots could lose their podium spot.
I think that's the first time I've ever
They-
seen math blow Scully's mind.
They could
He
lose
just said, "That's insane."
their podium
That's
spot.
insane.
I mean, Scully has seen pretty much all that you can see when it comes to bracket results, and this
So
is
if
the
he's
first time-
surprised,
Yeah,
you better know that what's
This
about to
this
go
is
down
complicated.
is
Scully
historic.
popped.
what's about to go down is crazy.
He pulled out his TI-85 for this one. He needed the full-on graphing calculator math
TI-83 wasn't enough.
to figure out this final. This is a complicated finals.
If you could only afford the TI-83 in high school,
Oh,
you're not gonna be able to keep up.
Not
with
going to
this,
cut
'cause
it.
the
Not going to cut
the
it.
racing.
You
is
need the
just
full
that close.
calculation power of the TI-85
The full
to figure out what's
power
going
of the
on here.
calculator.
Again, this is going to be a very.
It's about to be historic.
very
I mean,
intense
this is
finals.
a race-off for podium at
Absolutely.
a world
Absolutely.
championship race. I've never heard of this. I mean, I've heard of it because it's in the rules, but I've never seen it. We haven't seen it happen.
Correct.
We know that it's theoretically possible, but to
Oh,
see
it's
it happen
amazing.
in a final to determine the top.
I mean, this is one of the most
3
exciting finals you
positions.
could possibly ask for.
It makes
I mean,
no sense.
we already had 4 distinct winners in a final bracket. That just, shows how close the racing was. And then we had such
That's right.
a close finish within that bracket that we then have to race off for the 2 to 4 position. I mean, this is unprecedented. Absolutely unreal.
Absolutely insane. I mean, at this way, if it keeps going this way, we're just going to have to schedule another champs like for December and then have
second
these
champs.
pilots back. Maybe
Just
duke it
run it
out for a
back.
week.
We're gonna have to do biannual champs. Is that twice per year? Biannual is a very confusing term.
It can mean
I'm
twice
not
per
sure
year
if that
or
means
every other
other
year, but I would vote for twice a year.
We'll see what that actually results in.
That's right. Yeah,
midterm champs. Midterm champs. Thank you very much.
Well,
for
we
that
used to have
terminology.
the regional finals, and I remember Scully traveling to each region, and
Oh,
I remember him coming to
that's a
California,
throwback.
running
That's
the
a
regional
throwback.
final, and you would climb. You do local race to qualify for regionals.
Absolutely.
You do regionals to qualify
Absolutely.
for nationals. So you never know. It could come. Something like that could come back.
Well, there's
I don't know
still
what
a
the
lot
chat.
to get.
I don't know what
lot
the
to
chat
happen.
thinks. I mean, I assume we have a lot of pilots in the chat. I don't know what they think about having one big qualifier to go to a big event like this, having a series of races that feed into each other.
Yep.
I mean, I like all the formats, but I'm not formatist.
All I know is that I like racing, and I like to see more racing. So
That's
I'm
right.
excited to see what's going to happen.
And you know what we're about to get, Mimo?
More racing.
More racing.
More racing.
Because we have a 1v1
The best kind of
head-to-head
racing, head-to-head
race.
racing.
The most followable, the most format, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
One pilot battling pilot to settle a grudge match. Well,
Exciting.
or a points match. Maybe there's no grudges.
These pilots are
they're
out
probably all
here.
friends.
A lot of them are burned out at this point. I mean, they've been flying, a lot. They've been flying all day. Their nerves have been high all day. Their adrenaline's been pumping and pumping. And somehow they're going to have to try to keep that concentration. They're going to try to have to keep
They're gonna
that
have to
focus.
Yeah.
Push
They're gonna have to
it.
stay warm. They're gonna have to stay focused.
I mean, there's a lot on the line here. Just because it's not for first doesn't mean it doesn't matter. This is second place is it's
hey, we shout out for a
big difference in
Miwo
third place.
DRL win. He thinks you have it in you. I wouldn't mind seeing you win DRL.
That would be
Being
awesome.
Local represent Sunny Vale,
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
California.
Thank you, Sean Taylor,
I'd
for the
be very
motivation
excited
there.
about that. We want an invite for Limon FPV to the couch, which unfortunately we're not talking to the outside world, so I don't think they can hear us.
I think
we are back on the
I feel
outside
like we
world,
could
so
see I would love to see
if
Limon here.
Limon
Limon,
wants to chat
I really feel like is one of the pilots who's an epitome of passion for drone racing. I know he's an avid contributor to Beta Flight. He's an avid contributor to the drone racing organization. He helps to form a lot of races out in Texas, which has a
everybody knows
wonderful
him.
chapter.
He's an
Limon-
engineer. He's
yeah,
a pilot.
Wonderful
he's a
pilot.
stand-up
Epitomizes what it means to be passionate for drone racing.
And
so
let's
yeah.
talk about his performance at this race. Qualifying 29th.
Oh.
And I was talking to
Final
Limon.
placement was what?
And I was talking to him earlier. Limon climbed from 29th. No, not 29th, because he was in the 29th, because he was in the next 40.
Absolutely.
Moving all the way through the next 40 bracket to the top 8, all the way through the 16 bracket to 9th place.
Yep.
So he flew consistent,
meteoric rise.
fast. He just
He
crushed
He
these
didn't.
finals.
He didn't just cruise through those. He wasn't just letting people crash in front of him. He pushed. He performed well.
I mean, Limon's great.
I mean,
we can't argue with
amazing pilot.
You
There's-
don't argue
yes.
with Bobby Braggs.
Yes, absolutely.
Bobby
true.
Braggs tells you
Absolutely true.
Limon is great. You know Bobby.
I would love to see Limon up here. Maybe we can go grab him.
So if he can hear us, he can come give a shout out on the stream.
Please, yes.
I mean,
thank you. Yes,
Thanks.
excited,
Shout out from Scully
excited,
and
so
November.
excited to see Chris Thomas. A person. Sometimes we see smiling, but rarely we see smiling. So it's good to see him happy about the exciting performance going on right now.
And let's talk a little bit about the
Chris
hats
Thomas. Oh,
that Scully
hats.
wears. I mean, he's running the race. He's doing math. He's
Correct.
running lifetime. He's
Correct.
reviewing DVR. So to be
Multifaceted.
able to be here and help fill a little bit of dead air time for somebody who's given so much
sometimes
to all of these pilots
if you've watched the
it
movie,
makes me so happy to
have
be
you
able
watched
to
the movie?
take a little bit of stress off of Scully's plate so he can
absolutely.
make this happen.
Have you watched the movie Men in Black, where the aliens sometimes take off the costume and there's 3 or 4 aliens underneath? Sometimes I'm convinced that Scully at least has 3 or 4 people piloting
God.
him.
Are you telling me that Scully
I mean,
is
I
actually
can believe it.
twins?
I mean, you tell me.
Is Scully triplets?
It could be three aliens in one. 3 aliens in one.
Oh, he's here.
I
We're
could see it
oh.
happening. I could see it
wait.
happening.
We were flashed. I don't remember what we just talked about.
Whoa, yeah.
I don't even know.
What were we saying? Oh, that's right. We're racing for 2 to 4th. 2 to 4th.
I think there's a race-off coming.
I
Is what
think
I heard.
so. I'm
excited about the race.
That's the last thing I remember.
I'm feeling a little bit
And all I'm feeling is like a really strong urge to.
Oh, they're lining them up. This
to
race-off
deny
is
the
happening.
existence of aliens as a whole.
So they unveiled the situation to the crowd out there, and
all right,
it is about to get real. I'm seeing video.
So
I'm seeing.
here is how the math plays out. So going into this round, Engineer and Neukel were only separated by a point, but as we race this head-to-head race, and I think they're going 2 laps. I think the pilots decided 2 laps. I'll get confirmation. So, if Engineer wins the head-to-head matchup, he is second with 11 points. Propsicle will be third with 12. Neukel will be fourth with 13. If Neukel wins this, let me do this. Hold on, one button, too many buttons. I got my mitts on typing here, and I'm messing everything up.
Do you see what I'm talking about?
So Neukel, if Engineer wins this, Neukel is second, and Neukel is fourth. If Neukel wins this head-to-head matchup, then that will put a 3-way tie on motocross points, which means Propsicle would be second, Neukel would be third, and Engineer is in fourth. Engineer is on 7, Neukel is on 2. Well, I have someone on 5.
I see the digital, but I don't see Engineer. I don't have video on Engineer.
We lost video on Engineer.
Are we doing 2 laps or 1?
If there is a pit switch.
I changed the event. Can you go to mgp.live.com?
A little bit of video issues here in the production tent, making sure we can stream these pilots battle.
All right, it's going to be per the rule book, and this is explicit in the rule book, 1 lap race. So we're going to do a 1 lap race. We know the setup is math, is science, head-to-head racing to decide 2nd through 4th. You guys ready?
Oh, we're ready.
All right. Pilots, good luck. You know your situation. Arm your quads. Live on the tone, less than 5.
A hot launch from both pilots here. Neukel chasing Engineer into the start-finish gate. Oh, Engineer a bobble, and he's down into the grass. It is not over for him, though.
He is turtling. Neukel needs to finish this clean because Engineer is working his way back up, and he gets up into the air. He repeats the cube to be safe. That's a good call from Engineer, who wants to make sure he doesn't miss any elements. As Neukel, way out in front now, needs to make sure he can clinch this with his lap.
At least a full lap ahead from Neukel. And into the net here.
And Engineer.
Oh, and Engineer down again. The nerves are hitting both of them. Engineer back up. Neukel stuck in the gate.
Turtling,
trying to
cut
get
his way. Turtle mode, for folks who don't know, you reverse your props. He's trying to cut through. Engineer is back up in the air, working his way through this last section.
Neukel, again, is at the around 30 last gate. Engineer just passed him here, so Engineer is officially ahead of Neukel.
Who could not get out of that gate and clenching that
unbelievable
victory.
Engineer
2 crashes, 2 recoveries, another
knowing that Neukel is caught in the gate. Engineer celebrating.
The crowd is losing their mind out there. This battle, that was too many back and forths to follow. They are.
I think the nerves are just too stacked on these pilots. Not the most impressive performance we've seen from either of these guys, but this is what happens. This is what it comes down to with drone racing. Engineer clinching it out over Neukel here, finishing it up and taking the win over him in this last
I mean, these pilots
heat
have put in so
of
much.
the
And
2021 race.
you know, it's 11:30 here. They've been racing all day.
Taxed, exhausted.
They have been rerunning, and to be able to go up and do that 1v1 battle and keep it together, I admire these pilots.
All right.
We are going to transition into podium announcement.
We're going to
We're
head
going to
outside.
sign off. Ferry and Miwo signing off. Farewell.
Thank you, pilots.
We need a hybrid name.
Thank you, spectators. Fmiwo.
Miwo.
Fiwo.
Brought to you by
Mary.
Mary.
Thank you, pilots.
Mary, representing women in MultiGP drone racing. Support your women. Support your chapters. Race your drones. Thank you. That is all.
Yes.
Michael! You gonna come here? Take your picture? Fourth place.
Yeah, there we go. We're now getting set to do our podium presentations here in front of our big backdrop. Your top four of Pro Class in 2021. We're going to start with fourth place. A lot of racing over the course of the week. That's now a pair of fours. Top four in 2020 and 2021. That's Neukel, fourth overall, your Pro Class. A lot of racing. Did you have fun this week? I know probably not the finish you wanted, but still top four again. You got to be proud with that at least.
Yeah, I mean, fourth place, honestly, at this point, kind of feels like my home. I don't know if I can place anywhere else, which is good in its own right, because fourth place is pretty damn good. So.
Well, the Chase the Ace final going 5 rounds. That's never been done. You got an ace and top four finish in a race offer. Congratulations. We'll see you again next year. Thank you. Give it up for Neukel, everybody.
Good job, Noik.
We go next to your second runner-up, third on our podium. His third time inside of the top 10, and that is Propsicle. Come on down. You got a lot of fans. 2 years ago, I think you're top 10. Last year, top 6. Now you're on the podium at Champs. You got so many fans. What are your plans for drone racing in 2022?
To keep going. You know, this only motivates me even more and more to get better and better and keep bringing better results. I've consistently been improving through past champs, and
I want to be the best, and this is just one small step in that direction.
Heck, you got an ace in one of the most epic finals we've ever seen in this. The field was tough, and you had a lot of support here. Who do you want to thank, team-wise, sponsor-wise?
I want to thank my sponsors, my friends, my parents, especially my sponsors, 533 and HQ Prop. They have been there supporting me from the very beginning. They were the ones that first invested in me and trusted me to be able to bring them those good results, and they have stuck with me all the way through. And their support has been amazing. I want to thank my whole family for being here and supporting me, taking the 14-hour drive to come watch me do drone racing. And also I want to thank my friends that motivate me and push me to be better, especially my pit crew today. Soren and Kyle, they were a huge help. They made sure no matter what, I always had a good battery. My quad always had fresh props. I always had a quad that I knew I could put on the line, and I could go up and I could fly my very best with them. So thank you to them. It's been amazing.
Fantastic. Third overall in 2021. Props. Congratulations. Well, just when
The neighbor has a shotgun. This is all for the live stream. Yeah.
Yeah, this is all for the live stream. Everyone at home, why is everyone like this? The neighbor has guns. We're going to go to your reserve champion, and the greatest thing about the Chase the Ace format is that you run your top group of pilots repeatedly. That's what everyone wants to see, the best of the best on the track. Tonight, the top 4 really put on a show, taking it 5 rounds. That's never happened at Champs. But then we had to take it one step further in one of the most pivotal race-offs in the history, the rule that we've never, ever used before. Your reserve champion in 2021, his first big podium with MultiGP Engineer, your reserve champion. So it was a fun conversation. We were doing math and trying to figure out what happened to happen there. And I mean, when did you put the numbers aside and just go full send against Neukel there, knowing that this would take you 4th to 2nd? That was your best bet, and you had to do it in that moment.
Well, this whole event, I've been flying a throttle cap, and once we took it down to 1 lap, I decided to take it off. Maybe not the best move. Maybe it's because I was cold, or I was too fast in that first gate, but in either case, I was able to get back up. Hey, zip tie and double-sided tape on the battery every time. That probably helped me there.
And any advantage getting to, this is kind of like your home practice farm when you come down from the north, that you got to give some thanks probably to those that got you warmed up from that northern climate and getting ready to run.
It is, absolutely. I'm so thankful to be welcomed here down at the ranch from Matt and Michelle. This is where I race when I'm down at school in Florida. I'm here every month. I'm here a full weekend just racing with the locals, Mason, Hyper, everyone here. So it's so nice to be able to get down here and warm up with them and see the venue, help set up. It was definitely great as a pre-race practice.
And, well, former collegiate champion, now your reserve champion of 2021 in MultiGP. What do you do for Engineer, everybody? It seems like it's deja vu all over again. We had this moment in 2018. We had this moment in 2019. And we have it again in 2021. The first ever 3-time MultiGP champion, Evan Turner, Heads Up FPV. So you're a big part of making that go to extra innings. You took 3 4th places in a row. What happened?
You got to hit your lows before you hit your highs. And I'm a big believer in that. I really am. You can ask just about anybody. And, you know, to me, it's a thing that says never give up. And I really did hit my lows. I hit it. I got 2 4th places in a row. And then a 3rd one. And then, it was hard for me to want to keep going. But I know I had that extra opportunity. You know, it was like Neukel got it, Prop got it, Engineer got it. And, you know, I just went in like it was my last heat I might ever run. So I went for it. It played in my favor, and then You know, there was so much adversity, but I hit my low, and now I just hit my high for sure.
But, like, you needed the win. You wouldn't have podiumed, and you crashed over there. How did you get it in after that epic crash?
Well, I mean, I honestly think that like the 3/4 were kind of almost a advantage because it was a do or die situation. It was either I get the first, you know, in that last race especially, it was pretty much me versus Silas. You know, I respect Silas as a pilot and friend more than anybody, really, and he was an amazing competitor today. So I saw him make the pass, and I knew I kind of had figured in my head that if I took this second, I played a conservative. Even though I got that second in that heat, I still would have gotten 4th in the race, and I'm not here for that. So, and I just went for it, you know. And unfortunately, you know, I can't explain how much I would not have wanted to win off a mid-air collision of any sort. But that's how it played out. That's drone racing. But I think if there's anyone I'd want to stand with on the podium right now, it'd be Propsicle, and I think he deserves it more than I do, if anything.
First ever 3-time champion, Heads Up FPV, Evan Turner. Let's bring in our top 3 for a photo. Well, the official podium picture, your top 3 will bring in Propsicle and Engineer for our top 3 podium. There we go. We'll bring in Neukel as well on the side. We've learned how to do this staging. Charlie's really helped us out with that. So as we line up here for podium presentation, tomorrow we're doing this all over again at 9 a.m. EST. The clocks are changing tonight here, at least for most of North America. So we are back in what I believe is 10 hours and 12 minutes from right now, as the clocks will jump ahead. And so 9 a.m. EST, we're back with the next 40 top 16. To our great sponsors, Velocidrone, the Academy of Model Aeronautics, Thunder Power RC, Horizon Hobby, Superior One Roofing, HD Zero Tattoo, GemFan, Foxier, Hobby Wing, BetaFPV, 533, Team Black Sheep, and of course, our host as well, the No Quarter Ranch. On behalf of the entire cast and crew of MultiGP Drone Racing, this has been an MGP production. We're going to see you in about 10 hours, 12 minutes for more bracket racing. Join us tomorrow and enjoy the rest of your weekend here live from the MultiGP YouTube channel.